Alright, let's start this now. So, well, good afternoon. I'm DKY, one of the level designers on the Hazard course. And, well, today the plan was basically to show you guys all of the old alpha builds and I guess maybe one of the beta builds of the Hazard course. Well, not all of the alpha builds, we'll probably be just showing the first one in each series. So that would be like 5 alphas. Right, so let's see, the way we're going to do this is I'm going to go ahead and do a quick run through of the current version of the course, version 1.0.0, the one that we released however many weeks ago. And once I'm done with that, we'll jump straight into Alpha 1 and we'll see just how terrible that was, and we'll, just kind of take a look at how the course evolved over time. Alright, so, well, here we are. Black Mesa Hazard course. Let's start.
Current topside temperature is
I don't know what the hell is going on with my captions.
degrees.
Oh, that fixed it.
With an estimated
Alright, so,
high of
yeah, so
90.
this is
The
the intro to the Hazard course with a wonderful introductory Tram sequence made by Jeff Mott, I believe. And the wonderful Cat's Eyes, who recorded some additional lines for this Tram speaker PA voice. Now, interestingly enough, it took us quite a while to get that Tram voice right. Jeff had to mess with it quite a bit. And then, at some point, Kevin Sisk, who did the Tram voice editing, actually was kind enough to give us the presets for it, so we have a perfectly matching Tram voice. So we are somewhat canon. W is to walk forward, yes I know. So, fun fact that you guys may not know,
if you're here,
or realize, is that we were never actually in this tram, the entire time. In order to solve a bunch of physics glitches, like with this tram sequence, like you actually start the game in a separate, completely non-moving tram, like in a different part of the map, but the game renders the view as if you were in the tram, like, just to solve all those weird, stupid problems.
It's a good read.
And then when the tram arrives at the station, like, I set it up so that you would teleport straight into the tram and disable the disembodied camera in the tram seamlessly. So yeah, nobody noticed. Fun fact. This guy's name is Tom, by the way, and the other guy's name is Bill.
You spend too much time reading those magazines.
They're doing a series on the Hazardous Environment Combat Unit. Those guys do some seriously good work.
Sure.
And if you did not know this already, yes, we got all of the original Black Mesa voice actors to do the voice work on the course. And some of them joined in to do some additional voices, actually, like characters that they'd never voiced before.
Dr. Freeman, we've been waiting for you. Don't worry, I'm sure you hit some traffic in the middle of the desert. At any rate,
so, if any of you looked at this clipboard and found that he kind of holds it really funny and his fingers just kind of go through the board. Yeah, so I spent like a few hours working on that, and it was terrible. Like, I could not get it to work. So, at some point, I just gave up completely and kind of positioned the board in such a way that I hoped it would disguise the fact that it made no sense. Like, if you looked at it from certain angles, it would look somewhat natural. And then we released the course, and everyone looks at it from the angles that I don't want it to be looked at, and I don't know what to do about that anymore. It's terrible.
Someone has made an error and signed you up for
in Half-Life 2, actually, when Dr. Kleiner has his clipboard, that was perfect, because actually that clipboard is built into the Kleiner model. This clipboard is not built into the scientist model, so we couldn't use that technique, unfortunately. Most people don't know this, but you can actually go back in the airlock
I should join the Marines.
and trigger additional dialogue.
Well, you keep your head in the clouds, you'd wash out in a week.
Oh yeah? What makes you so sure?
U.S. Army Rangers, 12 years.
Wait, what? Why didn't you ever tell me?
Well, you never asked.
Yeah, so... fun fact, Bill on the monitors is voiced by Mikey, who did the HECU voice in the Steam version of Black Mesa. And he is a wonderful guy. Honestly, he gave such great performances to everything. And yeah, by the way, you can actually talk to most of these scientists like multiple times.
Firearms 101 course does not involve being shot at. That's Firearms 103.
And I could keep talking to him, but like, let's just keep going for the sake of time.
I know I said do what you feel is right. But did we really
So yeah, in Black Mesa, all the devs get their own personal lockers. In the Hazard course, we get our own personal offices. I am apparently the training administrator, which is pretty cool. Except for Jeff Mod, I think like his office is like hidden somewhere in the mountains. Like I don't even know what happened to his. Like he did something weird with his office.
Finally, Simowitz, he's here.
Oh dear. Why aren't these sensors working? I hope they're not needed for today's training run. Ah, the salutations, Gordon. I thought
Hello,
I should
Kleiner.
drop in to welcome you, as well as ensure everything goes smoothly. They assure me that all the training facility software is in working order. Best of luck. Welcome to the Hazard course, Dr. Freeman.
So another fun fact: these two characters are the main scientist characters who kind of follow you and shadow you and like give GLaDOS-esque statements throughout the course. This guy's name is Dr. Bickford, and this guy's name is Dr. Simowitz. Dr. Bickford and Dr. Simowitz were named after two science teachers from my old high school, but I was not the one who named them. Our original writer, Craig, actually first penned the script, and he actually, by sheer coincidence, he actually attended the same high school that I did. And we did not realize that until I read the first draft of the script, and I found these guys' names, which are the names of two old science teachers in my high school. And I was just like, what? And then I kind of interrogated him for a while, and I thought that was kind of funny. Something that people also miss is that you can talk to, like, literally everyone here.
Fresh meat, huh?
Multiple times.
Like video games? You didn't hear it from me, but someone installed Doom in one of the shared folders. I didn't do it, certainly not. But I'm not complaining either, you understand? Best get
Yeah,
a
this guy
move
too.
on.
And you can go back and kind of have a chat with all these guys.
It's good to see you again, Gordon.
But I won't do that, because this is going to take forever. Hi, trash can.
Didn't have too big of a breakfast, did you?
Bananas are good. There's the same going down as they do coming up.
Be safe.
I will. And here we are, going into the first real map. Well, not real, but like the first actual Hazard course map. The others, those are just the HR offices. Alright, Hazard course.
Hello.
Wonderful
and
Gina
welcome to the
model,
Black
Dr.
Mesa
Cross,
Hazard course,
by our
where
own
you
Michael
will be
Tannock.
trained in the use of
Tannock,
the
however you
hazardous
pronounce your name.
environment suit. I am your holographic
And there's this
assistant.
guy over here who
Pressing
kind of just
these
stares at you.
buttons, press it, and I
Interesting
will
fact,
instruct
this guy was
your
just
moves.
copied and
Let's
pasted
begin
from one of the
with
impound
the
chapters. I
You can
literally
see
did not change a thing. I just like made him look at Gordon a little bit. Otherwise, the choreography remains exactly the same. So yeah, he got lifted straight from BM. And our wonderful Hazard suit in this beautiful decommissioned missile silo.
Is there a problem with the suit, Dr. Freeman?
Yeah, you can piss off the scientists by just kind of sitting here and, like, not doing anything, you know?
Is it really that hard to put it on?
Again, in the interest of time.
All right.
So,
let's get
yeah,
on with
this boot up sequence was interesting. Like, I thought that, you know,
Moving around
since
in
Black
your
Mesa had, like, this
can
nice
be
musical
slightly
track, and
disorienting
in
at
the original
first.
Half-Life,
Take a moment to
they,
familiarize yourself with basic movement.
rat scene. Yeah, nice touch. But yeah, so that that boot sequence was kind of inspired by like Crisis, like when you put on the nano suit.
Did your PhDs at MIT? Very impressive.
And I kind of added that in there because I felt it was kind of anticlimactic. You pick up the suit, nothing really happens. Like in Half-Life 1, you would get like the diagnostic readout, and in Black Mesa, you get this awesome music, and Hazardous, of course, like what happened, so I added that. Turns out, like, we didn't really know at the time, but Crowbar Collective actually wanted to make their own boot up sequence for a Steam version of Black Mesa, and then once they showed that, I was like, oh well, yours is much better than mine, so I don't know. It seems kind of implausible to use it in our ported version of Hazardous at the moment, though, which is kind of unfortunate, but I don't know, hopefully they'll fix that.
The first move we will practice in the Hazard course is basic jumping. You will try to run and jump over this set of pipes. Watch me, then try it yourself.
Implying, okay, yeah, you'd also get awesome music in HL1. If you don't know that, then, well, you haven't really experienced Half-Life. Hey, jump, jump, jump.
Good work. Those suits can be tricky for new users. Move on to the next area.
Thank you, sir.
You will need to duck and stay
Alright, so some
low
people
to
might
clear
wonder
the
why there's
next
no,
set of
like,
pipes.
hologram
Moving while crouched will
demonstrating
also minimize
the
movement
crouch
noise,
movement. Like,
making
there are two
you
reasons for that.
harder to
Like,
hear.
first reason was due to time constraints. We wanted to release by the end of the year, and we just didn't want to, like, spend more time working on the crouch animation. The second reason is that, honestly, the original Hazard course didn't have a crouch animation either, so we weren't, like, we didn't really lose any sleep over getting rid of it. We hope maybe in the Steam version we will add a crouch animation for that, but honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't be too disappointed if it weren't there.
Sometimes you'll need to get extra height in order to get over an obstacle or into a tight space. Try jumping forward and pulling your legs up mid-air to clear the obstacle. It's tricky at first, but you'll find it comes in handy. Watch me and then try it yourself.
For someone who doesn't animate, I think Mike did a wonderful job with these animations, though, so... Oh, and if you are a terrible gamer and you can't, for the life of you, crouch jump,
Phil had trouble with that too.
For 30 minutes, if I recall.
Try raising your legs when you jump.
yeah, so we have a lot of, like, random dialogue for things that the player may or may not do. Most people are gonna miss it, but we thought that, you know, just adding random stuff would increase the replay value. Hopefully people have discovered that. By the way, if you can't make these crouch jumps, you're literally worse than a 9-year-old girl. One of our voice actors, Josh Jones, who does Dr. Bickford, that guy, he had his daughter play the Hazard course, and she nailed the jump, like the crouch jump, first try. So if you can't do the crouch jump, you are literally worse than a 9-year-old girl at this game. Alright, another crouch jump. So we, you know, we really wanted to emphasize crouch jump, so, you know, we really wanted to, like, make it so that people would, like, get it into their heads that you kind of have to do that in this game. So we have a couple of jumps, I think, that require crouching in midair to, like,
Take some time to practice it here.
to actually get past. Of course, that little tube thing, that vent, was kind of taken from Half-Life, where you also have to crouch jump, but, like, whatever. Yeah, so I did this, like, extra ladder mount dismount thing, because a lot of people don't really realize that you can press E to mount or dismount the ladders, so that's why I added the HUD aids there.
Jumps are more difficult to make. It helps to get a running start and lift your legs mid-air.
Yeah, lift your legs mid-air thing.
All 3 in a continuous run, you're doing well.
Alright, so let's try and make all 3 in a continuous run. The last jump can be done without lifting your legs in midair, but it's pretty hard. I practiced a lot, like, when I did that, like, so I was able to just kind of nail that, but that's probably because I was playing that map for, I don't know, 3 years straight, so if you can do it, good job.
When wearing the module, you will be able to activate it to give your jumps extra horizontal movement. When you're at the platform, press the button and I will demonstrate the move.
This wonderful long jump module. Nice moody lighting. Again, awesome animation. Like, I don't know, the first time I saw that animation, I just kind of stared at it, playing over and over and over. Like, just kind of basking in the beauty of that long jump animation. Again, Mike did a great job for not being an animator. Yeah, you can die if you fall down, like, from those stairs. So don't do that, because that wouldn't really screw up, like, the next room, because, like, I have that room programmed so that you will die if your health goes below 80, but hey. And you'll see why that is the case in a few moments.
Please enter and start the lift.
Alright, let's see if I can do something here.
Now that you're up here, there's only one way down. Find the target on the floor below and do your best to land on it.
Alright, I'm not gonna do that. Well, let's see if I can get this on the first try.
Time to leave the nest.
Damn it, I can't do it. Whatever.
Watching this part sometimes.
Oh well. Basically, if I had made it behind that fence, it is possible, by the way, the scientists would berate you for being an idiot, but, you know, whatever.
You will find medical stations and first aid kits like this throughout the facility. Please use them to treat any injuries you have sustained. Once a medical device is depleted, it will shut down and
But yeah,
cannot be
about
reused.
like the random dialogue for doing terrible things, our attitude for exploits and like breaking the maps was generally like, we don't care if you break the maps, we kind of accept that, and instead of trying to fix it, we instead just wrote additional lines into the script. As long as the exploit was not completely game breaking, like if you were permanently stuck, that's bad, we'd have to fix it, but if it were something as simple as, like, you know, skip a few parts, like, we were fine with that, and we have some little secrets that we can, that you may discover. So in this, let's see, in this room, it was completely possible to just bypass the entire, like, turn the wheel, turn the bridge thing, using the long jump module, like, just to completely abuse it. But, you know, I thought that was kind of funny, so I kind of left it in here. It's not possible in the same exact way, because, like, the original exploit involved you jumping over these things, which you can't do, obviously, because they're too tall now. But you can still do this.
Careful with that long jump module.
I have to give him credit. That's clever.
Alright. Alright, on to the next map. Alright, next map loaded.
Sometimes you'll need to rely on more than your suit to navigate a tight space or get past obstacles. Try crossing this gap on your own.
Yeah, so you're supposed to push this box down into the pit and climb over, but we're not going to do that.
I suppose we can't fault him for finding a different way across. Unless it was by accident.
Yes, Crip, they do get to hear Jeff's old placeholder dialogue, if I'm remembering this correctly. So they will get to hear all of our placeholder voice acting by our very own Jeff mod. It was wonderful. And we're going to release it to the public.
If you can't push the obstacle out of your way, you might try pulling or lifting it. Move these crates to clear your path and get onto the platform.
So it is possible to get onto the platform without using these crates at all, but you know what, this is easier, so no point.
If nothing else works, you might try alternate means of removing the obstacle. Pick up the crowbar on the table and pry open the large crates in your path.
I like how she says pry open the large crates, and like I had this HUD hint over here, mouse 1 pry open crates. When you destroy the crates, like, it will change to destroy crates.
Haven't seen that solution.
Of course, you can just jump over the
Well,
boxes.
saves us from having to find more crates to reseal.
And then I can press mouse 1 to unseal the crates anyway.
Or not.
And
Try
that's
breaking the vent cover in the floor.
Anyway.
That's why we put it there.
Okay, I can see that. Thank you, Dr. Bigford. Have this guard turning off the lights. Half-Life 1 had that too. It was a pretty cool touch. Alright, so I'm gonna delay a bit. So these flares are really annoying. We originally had a room full of flares, like you'll see that in the alpha builds. Eventually we decided they were terrible rooms, and they were just kind of pointless, since like flares only appear in one level in Black Mesa, so... oh, fun fact, you can burn the paper. I love that nice touch, like, that was all Jeff Mod's idea. Yeah. Anyway, let's move
Turn
on.
your suit's flashlight on for this next area and use it to navigate the path. If you fall, locate the ladder and try again.
Yeah, the flares do emit light, they just emit so little light that it's basically useless. Like, we originally had a room built entirely on you relying on the flares.
Don't get used to taking shortcuts like that around here.
Well, I'm sorry, Dr. Pickford. Anyway, like, we had a whole room designed around the flares, but they emitted so little light that it was basically worthless, and we just cut the room because it was completely terrible.
Fresh set of rechargeables when we issue your suit. Auxiliary power shouldn't be a problem anytime in the
The
next.
second rat scene is coming up. Here it is. Yay.
I almost forgot the weapons training.
Yeah, so the story we wrote was that Gordon's not supposed to really take this route. He's supposed to go through here,
Accidental or not, Firearms 101 has already been
but some
paid
idiot
for,
apparently
Dr.
signed him up for
Freeman.
Firearms 101, so now they're redirecting him here.
Supplementary training.
But I want to go through here, Dr. Pickford.
Go on, Gordon. Have fun with your shooty bang bang, and let's get on with it.
Alright, fine, I will.
Welcome to the Black Mesa. One moment. Control? Control! Can someone please explain to me why this guy looks like an orange tank?
Nothing to be alarmed about, Range. He's with the science team's HEV project, and there was a mix-up with his file. Continue as planned.
As planned. Yeah. Okay. One HEV scientist coming in.
Alright, so this next part,
Hello, trainee.
the
Doctor?
firearms instructor here
about
is
to
voiced by
dispense
Mikey, the
ammunition,
guy who did the
9
HECU
millimeter
voices in
pistol
Steam Mesa.
and ammunition. So yeah, you caught me a bit off guard.
All of his lines here are like, I don't know, 90% improv. He made almost everything up. It's kind of ridiculous. If you'll see the placeholder dialogue we had for him, it's almost completely different. Like,
There are 3
and
rules
honestly,
on my
it
range.
came out
Always keep
for the
gun
better. He did a
pointed
wonderful
in the same
job
direction.
with this,
Always
I
keep
think.
your finger off the trigger until you are ready to shoot, and always keep the gun unloaded until ready to use. But yeah, go ahead and load it now, though, because we're about to begin. Hold your weapon in a two-handed grip. Both thumbs
Let's piss off
forward.
this guy.
Jesus Christ, that scared me.
7 rounds in the center ring for
Alright.
each target.
Enough of that.
Hey, not bad at all for a first-time shooter.
But yeah, so the 7 shots into the rings thing was kind of meant to force you to do at least one reload. So, yeah,
That was a
fun
pretty
fact.
slick reload. But your handling of the weapon could be a bit better. Don't
That
jerk
way,
the
like,
trigger,
the thing where he
alright?
says,
Give
that
it
was a pretty slick
slow,
reload, like,
steady
that would actually make sense.
Okay, let's move on to an automatic weapon system. Head into the armory behind you.
Alright, training armory. Here we are. So yeah, this entire pistol range was added. It was not in the original Hazard course in Half-Life. I just felt like it made sense to train Gordon on a semi-automatic pistol before a fully automatic military-grade weapon with a grenade launcher attached to it. Wonderful crate models by our very own Jeff Mod.
More careful.
Anyway, let's get some more ammo.
For this course of fire, you'll have to hit every target in order to proceed. If you miss the first time, don't worry, they'll come around again.
That
Some
glass is
targets
breakable.
are behind cover.
It says so.
Use grenades to hit those ones. Go to the marker on the
So,
floor when you're
you can blow up these crates and, like, get these 2 targets pre-shot.
Go.
I added that because, like, I felt like I wanted to reward the player for, like, you know, exploring around a bit and being a little creative. Some people interpreted that as a bug. No, it's not a bug. It's intentional. The targets are random, by the way, if you didn't realize that by now. Like, the order that they come in is random, but they always appear in the same place, obviously. Oh. Alright.
Nice, not bad. You did real good, Doc. Great work. You'll run the rest of the course with that equipment. You know, we try to train our guys with all the weight of their gear, but, well, I guess that doesn't make much of a difference to you. But regardless, just be careful with it. Remember, finger off the trigger. But hey, man, look, don't stress too much about any of it. Alright? I don't think you're ever gonna reach a point in your life where you need to use a submachine gun with a grenade launcher attached to it.
Foreshadowing. I love that line, by the way.
I hope you have
Improvised.
Take care.
I think. I believe that line was improv. I don't know why, but people keep missing like these little goodies under the barrels. I don't know why they miss them.
Ah, welcome back. Did you learn something about security duty?
Yes, I did. I did indeed, Dr. Zimowitz.
Your HEV suit monitors blood oxygen levels, notifying you when you need an air supply. As you swim through this course, your oxygen levels will drop. At multiple points, you will be given opportunity to surface for air.
Oh yeah, so now that I have weapons, like I was able to do this in the crowbar room, I forgot to do it, but like you can like piss off the scientist by blowing up Gina's emitter.
I must insist on destroying the expensive. But do not tell him how much that suit is worth.
And yeah.
Those are custom built. We can't just replace them willy-nilly.
Sorry, Doctor, but I'm having fun. By the way, it's not possible to complete the hazard course without passing within 4 feet of a taco. Just saying. Well, it's possible, it's just not possible under normal means. There was a secret teleport here, by the way. We are no longer in the same area of the map. There was a seamless teleport for reasons, mostly because we tried to piece together different iterations of this swimming section. Like we had, I don't know, 4 or 5 different versions of it. And the teleport was there just to make it easier for us to piece them together. And in the end, no one really noticed it, so we kept it. So yeah. Alright, level transition. Sector A, waste filtration. Crypt did a great job with this run, by the way. You'll see how it used to look later when I get to the alphas. Oh yeah, you can also piss off the scientist by shooting the cameras.
Are you kidding me?
And shooting out the windows.
No!
Alright.
This is the charging unit for your hazardous environment.
Yeah, okay, for the sake of time, I'm not going to charge it from that. I'm just going to use these batteries.
You can step up
45%, power 60%, power 75%, power 90%.
So these, well, almost none of these hazard rooms, like these lab disaster rooms, almost none of them were in the original hazard course. We decided to add them in because we felt like, hey, the HEV suit is for use. We felt the HEV suit is for use in hazardous environment conditions, so like we felt like it would be nice to showcase the hazardous environment conditions. Yeah, so the fire room, it's got some pretty explosions and fire and particle effects. This room went through many different versions, as you will see. And part of this room was kind of meant to teach the player, hey, you can pick up these valves and reattach them to their bases. Like, we wanted to make that absolutely clear to people who have not played like a Half-Life game or Black Mesa before. So yeah, because these wheel puzzles tended to be really difficult for people who had no idea what to do in certain parts of Black Mesa, so we felt like, hey, maybe some additional training wouldn't hurt.
The buttons on the fire doors act as a
also, these buttons, in We've Got Hostiles, these buttons actually can open the doors, not just close them. Some people don't realize that, so
I bet you want a chance to.
We added that there to kind of cement that idea. I don't know if people will actually like take that to mean, oh, I can use them to open the doors, but well, hopefully that would help a little bit at least.
Will sap your suit's power supply. Make your way through the next chamber quickly.
Running. Very cold, very cold. Secret battery. Nobody found this, I think. Another secret battery.
The HEV suit dampens electric shocks as well.
So this next room used to have a logic puzzle. I got rid of it because I felt a logic puzzle was kind of stupid in like a training level. So instead I changed it into a jumping puzzle. There's actually an alternate route through here that was left over from the logic puzzle days. I never got rid of it, so see if you can find it. The alternate path, I mean.
Proximity to radiation activates your suit's Geiger counter and radiation display. Biohazards are also displayed with a luminous icon.
Don't worry, that suit is properly shielded in all the right places. And this is a very low dose for demonstration purposes only.
The marker chemicals are
by the way,
probably just as radioactive
if you fail
as
these
what we allowed
jumps,
through.
like, oh, I
Even
can't
so,
get over
don't
it,
worry if
I
you
get
get
another
close.
HUD hint that says crouch jump, you idiot.
Yes, that's perfect.
Ah, crap. Oh well, there goes my 100 suit.
Radiation levels detected.
As demonstrated,
Yeah, so you have to call the
is more
elevator.
than capable of being used
I'm
to
not
prevent
sure why I did
all
that,
forms of
honestly.
damage. Please use the
It is a
elevator
little
to your right.
unintuitive, I think. Oh well, yeah. People figured it out. I mean, judging by the number of people who have actually completed the hazard course. Alright, this is one of my favorite maps in the hazard course for kind of obvious reasons. Let's get prepared here. Let's prepare for some unforeseen consequences.
Occasionally, you may need to
So in the
enter
original
an area
hazard
of the
course,
facility you do not have
you were
personal
allowed to do
clearance
this
enter. Explain the situation to the
and piss everyone off, basically. And then when you did that, like, these automated turrets would deploy. In the blue ship version of the hazard course, you couldn't do that because, like, your weapons would magically disappear in the elevator, and I felt that was game breaking. And I honestly, like, come on, shooting these guys is like a classic part of the original hazard course. So, why the hell not? Oh, these SWAT teams were not in the original. I just added them because it was cool. By the way, Mikey also did these lines. Also, basically all like improv. Oh my god, this is very chaotic.
Get down on the ground!
Alright, yeah, so, in the canonical version of the hazard course,
Occasionally,
Gordon is not
you may
actually
need to
a
enter an
mad
area of
killer.
the facility you do not have personal clearance to enter. Explain the situation to a guard, and they will let you through. Ask the security guard to let you through and lead him to the retinal scanner. He will let you into the final section of the course.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Sure, I'll follow you.
Please follow me. So there are two ways you can do this. You can, like, just kind of complete the course, like, as needed. Like, you could just send him to the, lead him to the scanner as normal, or you can do this.
Do you have any idea how much it costs to replace one of those? Hey, stop vandalizing stuff.
You can piss him off a lot, and it's really fun. Hold on. There we go.
Find vandals very handy.
Hey.
Mister, you have just made my shit list. You do realize I have a gun, right?
Yes, I know, but clearly I'm still able to kill you, as demonstrated in the alternate timeline in which I slaughtered everyone and then got taken down by a SWAT team. I don't know why these shadows, like, these props are now black. Like, it's a bug that I can't seem to fix. Sorry, guys.
Beat it.
Alright, jeez.
Jeez, you are a piece of work, you know that?
And like the first map, you can actually go ahead and talk to these people in various ways.
Kinda busy here, buddy. Yeah.
Multiple times.
Sure. Yeah. Wait, what did you say?
I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm not gonna continue doing that, at least.
Good job. Now, can we just hand over your weapons?
Sure.
Thoughtful of you to unload it first. Yeah? You done? It's, bulletproof glass.
Alright, are we back here? Are we not back? How are we doing? Alright, here, I think we're back. Yes, maybe? No? Alright. Let's see, where was my autosave at? Okay, yeah, we're back. Let's load back from where I hope we were at. Alright, yeah, so here we are. When we pissed off the guy, we broke all his stuff, and now we're making him unlock the door.
Beat it.
Alright, I'll beat it. I don't know why this bug keeps happening. Like, if you move it, it doesn't do that. Whatever. Yeah, and as I showed, you can... I believe I showed you guys, you can shoot him and he will comment.
You are now fully certified for use
Yeah, this
of the
tram
HEV
station
Mark
was done by
IV
our very own
Hazardous
Jeff
environment
Mod.
suit.
Very well
First
done, by the
controlled
way.
train will transport you to a location.
It's very nice.
Training associates are waiting for.
Fun fact, you don't actually need the tram to continue. You can just kind of run ahead without it. Yeah, I had that puddle theory. As Crip was saying that because the puddles that they're over are a brush,
You went ahead without
like
the tram.
they're getting the lighting from the bottom of it. The problem is, like, with that theory is that it only happens sometimes, not all of the time, right? When you reload the game, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. By the way, that Jeep,
Yes, you
like that,
actually made it.
most people miss that.
In the 39th percentile of time used to complete it.
Okay, so yeah, so by the way, this timer actually works. It took me apparently 24 minutes 37 seconds to run through the course, and you will get different ending dialogue depending on what time you got. So yeah, replay value. By the way, all this terrain, except for that big mountain thing, all this terrain was generated from real-world terrain data. So that's a nice little detail.
Nobody else in the HEB training had to waste time shooting targets either.
Well, at any rate,
Alright, so essentially this was the version of the Hazard course that you guys have. And next I will be playing the version of the very first alpha version of the Hazard course that we shipped to testers back in, I believe, sometime in 2012, 2013. Oh, by the way, when you end, we have this nice little background map, and if you wait long enough, I think there's supposed to be a rat that like runs along this catwalk here. Wait for it. Maybe. Hello. Alright, whatever. Let's not bother. Moving on. So, so the way we developed our course, we used something called a version control system to work on the Hazard course. That basically means that a version control system is a piece of software that lets us have different versions of of our code base of our files, right? And we get to record the history of all the changes that we made to it, which essentially means we can grab older versions of the course from, you know, years ago. So that's what I'm going to be using to load the old versions of the Hazard course. I'm using Git, which is a type of version control system. We used Subversion for like team sharing. I'm using Git locally because Git doesn't require a internet connection, and I don't want to like send trillions of files over the internet. Alright, so Git status. I'm going to switch to the Alpha 1 branch. Let's see what I did here. Clean. Alright, so as you can see, I have a list of all these different versions of Black Mesa, essentially, in like all next to each other on my hard drive, and I'm allowed to switch to whichever one I want. Git checkout Hazard course Alpha 1, and let's do it. And so Crip here in the Twitch chat says, by the way, if you're not using version control and you're working on a project, you simply do not care about your project. Debatable, but I agree with the fact that version control is really stupidly useful for any project, big or small. I use it for almost everything I do. And Crip says, non-debatable. Well, okay, fine. We'll debate it later. And this is taking a while, probably because my disk is being eaten by goddamn Windows Defender. I hate you. All right. Well, we're just gonna wait for this. Oh, it's done. Yay. Okay. So, if everything is all good, we are now in Hazard Course Alpha 1 version. So let's start. Alright, so this is the Alpha 1 well, this is Black Mesa. This is the same Black Mesa installation in, like, Steam, but the difference is I have now switched to a different branch of the Hazard Course. Back in this day, I think it was like late 2012, early 2013 or something like that, our first Alpha version, we did not even have, like, a Hazard Course button in the main menu. Like, that came a little bit later. So in order to actually play the Hazard Course, I'm going to open the console and type... Oh, crap, I'm using the... oh, hey, yeah, I am watching the stream. Yeah, I know you are. Huh. Hello, Hydro. Because I changed my keyboard layout. Anyway, so I'm going to open up this console and I'm going to type map HCT0A. I'm going to load up this map manually. And you'll notice in the release version of Hazard Course, the first map is actually T0A0. In this alpha version, we did not ship the T0A0 map for whatever reason. I'm not sure. So basically, all that stuff with the tram ride and the administration offices, like, those are gone from this version of the build. I think they were just not packaged. Node graph out of date. Sorry about that node graph out of date thing, by the way. That's just like a side effect of me using Git as version control. Whenever you check out the files, that thing appears. It's really strange, but whatever. It's not that huge of a deal. So yeah, welcome to Hazard Course Alpha 1 version. As you can see, this elevator looks questionable. Yeah, and this room here looks also questionable. And also, apparently, Gina is wearing the HEV Mark 1 suit. You know, later on, like. Now you look like a tank. By the way, that guy that I lifted from Black Mesa Inbound, he's still there. So he was actually here since the very first version. Unchanged. So this is the... Oh my, I can't even see anything. Like, where am I even going? Okay, yeah. So here's our HEV suit. Alright, is the stream doing alright for you guys? Because if it's not doing alright, then I'm gonna go ahead and try and fix that again. Alright, so, okay, where did we leave off? Alright, so basically, as I was saying, I don't know if you guys saw, but like this guy over here watching you is the same guy from the build that I just showcased, the release build. So he's actually been here the entire time. The guy that I lifted from Black Mesa Inbound? Yeah, fun fact. Alright, so back to this very dark silo that I can't even see the floor on. Let's pick up this hazard suit. Yeah, nothing happened. No beep, no music, no boot. No boot sequence. Very, very sad. And like, that was kind of anticlimactic, as you can tell. And here's Gina again. In the first version of this sewer, I guess. Like I was saying, you know, after the HEV Mark 1, they ditched the long fall boots and they ditched the night vision goggles, so now we have a crappy flashlight instead, and we are allowed to take fall damage. Damn budget constraints. Okay. And by the way, that's the assassin model, in case you were completely unaware. We didn't have a Gina model back then, so we just used the female assassin as a placeholder. So this room actually looks somewhat like it does now. The thing is, it just, you know, it's missing a few things, namely all the pretty particle effects and, like, everything that makes this room look good. But it's getting there. I think in a few years, this will grow to be a nice-looking map. Oh no! Oh, look at this. So, if you read my article on how not to develop the hazard course, like the thing, oh my, I mentioned that when we put these rooms together, we found that a lot of them were actually not compatible geometry-wise. So we were actually forced to create these these hallways things. Like these are actually just connector geometry to connect two different completely incompatible versions or different incompatible room geometries. And we've kind of thinly disguised them as hallways, hoping that nobody would notice. And that was because we did not really have any sizing standards. Everyone just kind of did their own thing at the time. So when it came time to just kind of like put our maps together and string it together into one playable thing from start to finish, it took us a really long time to do that, and a lot of it involved making these terrible, terrible connector geometry things that were thinly disguised as hallways. Here's Gina again. There's no demonstration hollow, but this room actually did not change all that much. I guess this orange stripe on the wall got removed. Yeah, these lights, these pipes are basically the same. I think of all the rooms, like these basic movement rooms, you know, jump, crouch, jump and then crouch, like they underwent the fewest changes up to the current version of the Hazard course. Yeah, and these little tiny hallways were eventually expanded, as you probably can tell. I'm gonna go ahead and crouch under these pipes. Also, no number indicators, because I don't think we had number indicators back then. Like, the model was just simply not there. And I don't... Oh, that's just some irresponsible area portals. That's funny. Alright. Back to the room where you are literally worse than a 9-year-old if you can't do. Alright, made it through the first map. Oh, the AI dis bug. I think that has to do with the fact that we have the fake Gina assassin model, which is technically an NPC, and we don't have any nodes, so there's no navigation node graph, so it just disables all the AI, and then it just kind of has this weird cutoff thing. That's also a bug. Yeah, look at that. Oh, actually, you know what? This room actually did not have a lot of changes. This basically looks exactly as it does in the release version, interestingly enough. Oh. Of course, the room surrounding it looks awful because it literally has no real texture. Eventually I figured that, you know, every attempt to texture this room made it look like a cave, so I made it literally a cave at some point. Yeah. Alright. Okay. There's Gina again. Alright, so yeah, ow, my eyes. This entire room is orange. The camera's still there though, so. And all these jump dimensions are still the same. I failed that jump. It just looks a lot less stupid in the final version, obviously. Let's see if I can make this jump. Alright, fine, I have to lift my legs in midair as this HUD hint is telling me. Blech. Hey, Gina. Yeah, we didn't even have like a proper long jump module thing here, so we just kind of plopped it on the floor. It turns out the actual item has no texture. In the final version, we kind of faked it by, like, you know, making a completely different prop just appear and disappear and making that actual item invisible. Let's see, okay. And as you can tell, this room looks almost nothing like it does afterward, and these stairs are not nearly as cool as the final version. These silo thingies, on the other hand, they got some tweaks. Yeah, I remember tweaking them a little bit. Like, I turned them into more rounded things, and they were a little prettier. Mike is asking me if I'm not a fan of orange. Yeah, actually, I am not a fan of orange. For a couple of reasons. The most important reason being that it messes with the lighting and the mood. Like, it completely changes the way you see your map if it's entirely orange. And it's not really possible to just kind of get preliminary lighting through the map if it's all orange. And that's why, like, about halfway through development, we switched to our own custom dev textures that were not orange. Oh, first example of an overly fancy delivery system, delivering this first aid kit. You'll see a lot of examples of that throughout this alpha. Mostly because when I first signed on to this project, none of us really had like a unified general idea of where we would be taking this course, where we would be taking the artistic direction. So I came up with a lot of absurd ideas that were mostly like add 20 trillion items to the thing and have them like be delivered by robot arm or something stupid like that. Obviously, like, they didn't make it into the final build of the Hazard course because they really should not be in the final build of the Hazard course because they're terrible, terrible ideas. And they were excessive and over the top. Obviously, heavy work in progress. --DKY. That's me. Ha ha ha. My, how this place has changed. Anyway. Here's another example of terrible connector geometry. So this is that map that I just left was I made all that stuff, and this was made, I believe, by Crypt. And again, when it came time to join the sections together, we had to resort to this complicated hallway connector terrible things in order to get it to work at all. Pardon the mess. I don't know why AI is still dis. Oh. Here's a message from Crypt. I'll either work in DKY's conveyor system or make this lift work. That's what that text says. Yeah, so I originally had a concept of having like a conveyor belt deliver this box to the player because, again, we had terrible, terrible ideas about where to take the course, and my theme was basically throw in as many awful, strange, high-tech delivery systems as possible. Well, that's cool, I guess. And this room looks nothing like it does now. This is the box pulling or lifting room. Oh wait, no, we don't turn here, we turn here. Granted, it looks a little bit more like the original, but oh, I can remove this little bit here. Just let me know if you don't like it, and it'll go poof. By Crypt. Let's see what we have here. We have a little secret area that used to be openable, like by this button, and then now this door no longer opens because there's really no reason for a player to go there. Another example. Oh god, another example of terrible connector geometry. Between that map was by Crypt and this map was, I believe, by JeffMod. And this is the connector geometry we use to glue the two sections together. Oh god, this is terrible. By the way, JeffMod told me to tell you guys that he is sorry for using grid sizes of 6. And that is in reference to the fact that he used to make all of his dimensions in terms of multiples of 6. Like, you know, things would be 6 units wide, you know, 12 units long, or stuff like that. Basically, everything would be multiples of 6. And this caused tons and tons of problems because, first of all, we would have to make those weird connector things just to get his maps to connect to ours. And second, every time we wanted to edit his maps, everything would be off-grid because he used units of 6, whereas Source Engine naturally handles powers of 2, like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and 6 is not very, very fun to deal with in terms of powers of 2. So yeah, fun fact. That this flashlight room is much larger in the final version. And JeffMod says, kill it with fire, kill me with fire. No, you've learned your lesson, so we're not gonna kill you with fire. We might kill this with fire, though, as, you know, and in fact, there will be some fire coming up, as you can see, as you'll be able to see. This is another one of JeffMod's brainchilds. The flashlight maze. I actually didn't think this was a terrible, terrible idea. We cut it eventually because, like, there was no point in having it, but I actually thought it was kind of a cool idea at the time. And I still think it's kind of a cool idea. But, if we had added it to the actual build, it would have been, you know, heavily modified because these beams Like, you can just walk over them and you can just essentially skip the entire maze. I'm not going to do that because it's more fun to actually go through the maze. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, this way. And Crypt says Jeff's maps are wonderful now, though, and yeah, I agree. Jeff does great work now. He learned his lesson. We all learned a lot from making all these terrible maps, by the way. So we're much better for it. Node graph out of date rebuild. Oh yeah, because I used git to version this, and it does that as a side effect. All right, and this is more connector geometry that we use to glue Jeff's map to my map, and this is the shooting range part. So originally we thought that the shooting range would be just actually a natural part of Gordon's training, which is why the whole door off to the side isn't here. Like Gordon is forced to go through here. And originally there was no firearms instructor. It was just Gina here, and the most elaborate target delivery system ever devised by man using these floating robotic arms. Oh, this is my favorite, the Glock delivery system. This is my pet robot. I call him Robo Rangemaster Tron 9000. Gina says, place 6 shots within the center ring of each target. It's 6 in this version, not 7. And that will cause some interesting problems, as you can see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sorry. But yeah, if I had done that perfectly, it would have made it so that I believe there would have been only 1 round left in the chamber or something like that, and then like the reload would be much more awkward. By the way, you can like tell the robot to take the Glocks away and give you some fresh ammo from the pile. Also, the frame rate, oh, the frame rate's not too bad. So this section used to kill the frame rate because there are so many Glocks and the engine has to render all of them. I'm surprised why the frame rate is actually not terrible right now. Alright, moving on. Armory. Yeah. MP5. Incredibly elaborate grenade delivery system. Like, there are tons of grenades. I believe I set this thing so that if you ran out of grenades here, it would like... This is a conveyor belt, right? It would just kind of scroll along with more grenades. That was excessive. I prefer the crates that we added there, so thank you, Jeff Mod, for giving us those crates. Those ammo crates. And this shooting range actually did not change all that much. All the targets are in exactly the same locations, and it behaves basically the exact same way, so... Whoops. Like, in terms of random, and I think if you shoot this, you get both of them. Yeah, that is the case. So yeah, I honestly did not change much. These targets were changed for the final version, but like in terms of behavior, it's exactly the same thing. All right, let's do this. All right. You win! Yay! I win. Why, thank you, Gina. And then here we are, more orange. Like your eyes are gonna have to be getting. Your eyes are gonna have to get used to like bleeding because of this orange. It's oh, this door? It's not opening. What you have to do is you have to smash your face against it in order to get it to open. Some of our testers absolutely hated that. I think Stephen Wimmer, he basically bugged me for years to make me not have to smash my face against the door to open it. And this is like an Olympic-sized swimming pool with a strange tunnel coming out of it. Yeah, as you can tell, we did not really have an artistic direction in mind when we designed this. Oh, we're drowning. And we're not drowning anymore. And this canal bleeds your eyes. And this is this waste treatment room that became wonderfully detailed after a pass or two, I believe, by our very own Crypt. Some old models from Half-Life 2, actually. I don't know why I put them there. Just placeholder, I guess. Oh, I'm gonna skip this because I have tons and tons of batteries and health. See, despite the budget cuts that led to, you know, instead of a Mark 1 with the night vision goggles and the long fall boots. Instead, we dumped all that money into tons and tons of batteries that no one is ever going to use. Yeah, that's how this works. And this airlock is exactly the same as the current version, I believe. Like, there are no changes. It looks exactly the same. Alright, so steam room. Got to overhaul later on. Oh, this is my favorite room. Okay, so... okay, so... this is the first version of the fire room. And... let's take some bets on whether or not this game will crash, alright? let's see. Ready? Get set. Go! Ready? Okay, here comes the fire. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. I don't know what... oh, this way, right? Please don't crash, please don't crash, please don't crash. It didn't crash yet. Watch it crash now. It didn't crash! Yes! So that room used to crash a lot because the sheer number of flame entities, like, propagating fire is not very fun in the source engine. We used to get a lot of crashes there because there were just simply so many flames. And these rooms look nothing like they do in the final build, obviously. Whee! Radiation. Oh, vital signs are dropping. Wait, why am I like half dead? Oh, that's another thing. So these old rooms were much more lethal than they are now. Like in the modern version of the Hazard Course, rooms are much less lethal. Like we tweaked the triggers to like deliberately not give you a lot of damage. Whereas here, I guess we just didn't do that. Call the elevator. Tons and tons of health, so I will have no problem getting back to 100. And the elevator takes forever to come down here in this version. Alright, on to the last map. The guard room. Hello Gina again, and the layout is exactly the same. Just some changes to a few details, and just like the final version, you can do this. With changes in the lines, of course. We recorded our custom lines instead of using the default Black Mesa lines. And just like final version, we have these dudes trying to kill you, and then crowbar him to death. Right.
Attention, security personnel to Sector D.
Am I done? Oh, no, I'm done. And just like the final version, the SWAT team arrives to kill you, because you are a madman, and you should die. Unlike the final version, we don't have the wonderful lines from Mikey, so Mikey isn't screaming at you the entire time. And, alright, the load game glitch, where you come back here and the elevator doesn't seem to be moving. It actually is moving, by the way, and then, yeah, here we go. And no, the elevator doesn't actually move, it's just static.
Hello, Doc.
Hello.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Yes, I agree. Let's get the hell out of here. Oh yeah, so Crypt says, explain where the SWAT idea came from. Okay, so...
see you later.
I'll explain that now. In the original Hazard Course, what happens if you shoot any of these guys? The turrets would automatically deploy, like immediately deploy. And since turrets are hostile to everything that lives, it would gun down this, like all of the guards, it would gun down the random scientist, and like that just made no sense in my opinion. Like, why would you deploy turrets to kill the guys who are trying to kill the guy who killed someone? Right? Like, that didn't really make so much sense. So instead, I made it so that if you kill one of these guys, the turrets do not deploy until you kill all of them, like both of these guys, right? So that solves the problem of it made no sense for the turrets to kill the guards. Now, the problem is, in the original Hazard Course, these turrets were unkillable. They were completely indestructible. You could not kill them. So I felt that was kind of inconsistent with the main game, because in the main game, yes, you can kill them, and it felt kind of dumb that you can't do that. So I made them killable. But that introduced a new problem of, if you killed all the turrets, then it's possible that you'd get stuck forever and you would just kind of be here. So that's where the SWAT team came in. So I took inspiration from the game Halo Combat Evolved. If anyone of you are Halo fans, I'm a huge Halo fan. In the first level of Halo Combat Evolved, if you kill the captain of the ship or any of the crew members on the bridge, they will lock the doors and a team of Marines will come in to kill you. So I took a page out of that book and I made it so that if you manage to kill all these, any one of these turrets really, then they would eventually open these doors and the SWAT team would come out and kill you, essentially. And of course, the SWAT team is infinitely respawning, so you can't live through that. So it guarantees that the homicidal maniac Dr. Freeman will die, and you will be able to actually end the game at that point. Jeff Mod says, "Wait, you could kill the turrets in the original." I don't remember that, because maybe I'm thinking about Half-Life Source then, because at least one of the versions, you cannot kill these turrets. And yeah, Crip says he got it confused with the invincible Halo guys. Yeah, well, the Halo guys were invincible, but that's not where I... That is strange. I know at least one of the versions of the game, these turrets are not killable. Oh, the game is over, right? There's nothing more. Well, this is the end of the Hazard course, right? Nope, surprise, it's not. Okay, so that was a dumb way to stitch the areas together. I'll figure out a better way to do it later. DKY. Yeah, well, that's my fault. So this was a case of me being really lazy and I was just completely unable to figure out how to stitch my area with the guards and this area that Jeff Mod made. So I didn't even bother making one of those connector hallways. I just put a teleport in there and called it a day, because I really did not want to spend the time figuring out how to... Tram speech goes here. Yes, well, I'm sure it does, Gina. Congratulations! You have completed the Black Mesa Hazard course. Well, thank you. I guess I have to deposit my weapons now, right? Can I kill this guy? Hold on.
You think anybody's gonna believe all this?
I think so. Here's my weapons. I had to unload them first. Oh wait, is the game now unwinnable because I... Oh, whoops. Right. Right.
What the hell is this? Alright.
Here, have my Here, have my guns.
Go right on through, sir.
Are you gonna open the door? Or... No? Well, that is it for the first alpha build of the Hazard course. Yeah, so not only can you not start the game from the menu, you also cannot finish the game in this version. Yeah, woohoo. My, how this course has grown. So, I'm gonna kill myself. Whoops. Yeah, I'm dead. And that is the first alpha version. Don't save, it's terrible. And next, we're going to move on to the second alpha version. Get status. Yeah, that was anticlimactic. It was pretty stupid. Where are we now? Okay. Branch. Check out Hazard Course Alpha 2. And then hopefully Windows Defender doesn't eat my... Oh, it's eating my disk. God damn it. Well, at least it's 50% done, so... Alright, so Alpha 2, let's go. Alright, so in Alpha 2, I forget when we did this. This was a couple of months after Alpha 1, I believe. Now we actually have a Hazard Course button. So let's, and we also have a developer commentary button that never got used. We don't actually have dev commentary. We wanted to do it at one point. We just ran out of time because we felt it was kind of pointless. And yeah, now we actually have a Hazard Course button. And we're going to load the first map of the Hazard Course. Unlike Alpha 1. Hazard Course. Here we are. We start in a tram. In a completely different first map from what is eventually happened. But we still have the Black Mesa theme in the introduction, so I always thought that was a nice touch. Like, it was a shame that they never used the Black Mesa theme in the original, like, not the original, in the actual levels at some point. So we decided, hey, this is a nice place to put it. And I believe their reasoning for not using the Black Mesa theme was that they couldn't find a place to put it. Hey, well, we found a place to put it. Let's see. Okay, so this version of the tram does not have the moving camera trick that I mentioned before. So it has a few physics glitches, which I thankfully avoided because I like stayed in the middle of the tram and didn't try to like go to the corners or anything. Yeah, there was this nasty glitch where if you sat in the corner while the tram turned, you would fall out of the tram, and then you would just get stuck forever. So the moving camera trick solved that issue. There's Tom and Bill.
You know, Barney's been pretty scarce around
using the default Black Mesa anomalous materials lines. Because we didn't record anything at this point, and we didn't even have placeholder dialogue, and I believe we didn't even have a script. And no, we did have a script, we just didn't have it like in a complete state. Yeah, it was still undergoing modifications at this time, so we were just falling back to the original dialogue from Black Mesa.
Man, you cut the ponytail. Sellout.
Wasn't it used in one of the menu screens in reference to the Black Mesa thing? Was it? It might have been. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, you might be right. You might be. I don't know. Okay, so this hallway looks somewhat the same, except there's no like lobby where like the clipboard dude comes and visits you, and I don't know what is going on with these reflections in the windows. Here's my office again, Dr. R. Lamb, training administrator, with a uglier sign this time. What is going on with these reflections? Holy crap. I don't know. Whatever.
Do you smell something burning?
No. I don't. There's Dr. Bickford. And is that that's not Simowitz. Whatever.
Well, do you have any idea what to do next?
It's inconclusive.
Do I go here? No, I don't go here. Crap, I forgot where to go. Oh, wait, no. Oh, right, yeah, the elevator is on the opposite side of the room in this version of the Hazard Course. Yeah, here we are. Oh, wait, that was strange. Okay, yeah. I guess that was another one of those I'm too lazy to connect the rooms, therefore I'm just going to teleport you things. Yeah, alright, here we are, going into Alpha 2 version of the Hazard Course. Slightly different elevator this time. And this room is slightly different. Oh, it's Gina!
Hello and welcome to the
using your default Half-Life 1 voice.
You'll be trained in the use of the hazardous
and there's that guy again that I ripped off from Black Mesa Inbound. He's just going to be a constant throughout the Hazard Course. He's always there. Like, I don't remember a time where he wasn't there.
If you see one of these buttons, press it, and I will appear to demonstrate
what button, Gina?
moves.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, we didn't have a button back then either. Actually, we did have a button. It was just terrible, so we redid it. And this silo looks a lot more like it does in the release version. Yeah. Still no HEV boot up sequence, by the way, so, oh well. Still anticlimactic. And we have the wonderful hologram emitter by Mike Holtana. And this first transition room, this first basic walking room, is starting to look like it does in the final version, yeah. Of course, Crypt eventually made it like look much better than it does now. Alright, whatever, I'm just gonna run through this. And now we actually like have like proper water noises and like electrical hum noises in places. So yeah, this is starting to get to look a little bit more lively. And this, keep in mind, this is Alpha 2, so it's just several months after Alpha 1 that I just showed. And that awful orange mapped connector geometry now looks like a proper hallway. And in fact, this looks basically very close to what the final hallway ends up looking like in the release version. Except here, yeah, this connector hallway still looks terrible because we didn't know what to do with it for the longest time. And these red pipes still there. And now we have a proper hologram demonstration in which Gina is invisible.
You will attempt to get over this set of pipes using only your run and jump commands.
Sure.
It helps to get a running start. Watch.
Good work. Those new suits get tricky.
Using Half-Life 1 scientist voice there.
You will now duck under the next set of obstacles. Please note that crouching will automatically shift your suit into stealth mode.
Crip says A2 was like a year after A1, I think, actually. Yeah, okay, actually that sounds about right. And judging by the changes in the map since then, I think Alpha 2 being a year after Alpha 1 sounds about right, yeah.
Very good. I hardly noticed you. Move on to the next area.
Thank you, Dr. Kleiner. I think you're Dr. Kleiner. You're just some generic scientist.
Now we will combine skills. You will need to jump, duck, and then jump again. This will prepare you for the next
jump
route.
Again.
Good work. You will prepare for the next station.
Next station. The 9-year-old station. Where if you can't do this, you're worse than a 9-year-old girl.
You want to stand right at the mouth of the pipe and continue to press forward. Then jump up, and while you're in midair.
Yes, I know. I don't know why that door takes forever to open, but it does. Alright, that awful AI dis bug is gone, thankfully. I think we wised up and placed like at least one node somewhere so that it would shut the engine up, like, till it did not complain. Oh yeah, this was our first attempt at texturing these walls. We had no idea what to do. Yeah.
Walk directly into the ladder, look up, and continue moving forward.
This room is still basically exactly the same way. I didn't really change much. Okay, maybe I changed these shadows a little bit to make them not look as strange, but beyond that, basically the same. Yeah, I think the cave idea was much better than what we were trying to do here. I don't even know what we were trying to do here. A lot of, like, you'll see that as, like, a constant theme throughout the course. A lot of the time, when we tried to texture things... Oh, it's no longer orange. How wonderful. A lot of the time when we tried to texture things, we had no idea what to do. So we just kind of slapped a bunch of concrete or just random textures everywhere and hoped that it worked. And more often than not, it didn't work.
But they are quite possible. The next 3 jumps get harder each time, but they are quite possible.
What is she saying?
Don't be surprised if you miss the last one a time or two. If you can make all 3 in a continuous run, you are doing well.
Thank you, Gina. I'm doing well. Are you going to tell me about the long jump mod? Okay, fine. I guess you don't have to talk to me about the long jump module. Ah, now we have a proper stand for it. It doesn't come out of the ground like the final version, but at least it doesn't look like a purple checkerboard anymore. And this was our first attempt at texturing and decorating this long jump area. This is one of those instances where I had no idea what I was doing, so I just kind of slapped concrete everywhere and hoped it worked. It didn't work. And same with this room, I had no idea what to do with it, so I slapped concrete everywhere and hoped it worked. And again, it didn't work. Oh yeah, so oh, this was back when like this catwalk used to connect to like that area. And then those crates were like supposed to block it off. I felt that was like more natural. And back in this build, apparently, I didn't do that yet. So that's just a minor detail. Oh yeah, and the whole thing where you go into that dark maintenance tunnel, that's absent from this build. This room looks basically like it's starting to look like how it does in the final build, like just a little bit more. And of course the gratuitous blood effects, they're still there. Hold on, can I still break the game by jumping behind the fence? Let me try it. Ah, yeah, so yeah, that was one of the first exploits we actually discovered. So even back in Alpha 2, we knew this was possible, so that's why I added this door here. And then later on, when we finalized the script, we had the scientist berate you for doing that, so yeah. And again, there's that strange robotic delivery system that eventually got scrapped because it was a terrible idea. Yeah, so this was the first alpha to include flowing water. Flowing water in the Source engine is surprisingly easy, yet surprisingly not easy also. Like, it has certain limitations. Like, the way I did it here was it can only flow in one direction, so if we have, like, a flowing stream or river, this isn't gonna work. But for something artificial, like a little artificial canal like this, it works fine. This whole turn the wheel thing. I did not yet apply the cave aesthetic to this room, so it still, yet again, looks like concrete because I had no idea what to do with the room, so I slapped a bunch of concrete everywhere. And now the connector geometry looks more like a hallway, but it looks like a very boring hallway. Also, these doors look nothing like they eventually will turn out to be. Oh, this is...
Sometimes you'll need to rely on more than just your suit.
Okay, this is a disembodied Gina voice talking to me. Yeah. Like, I rarely actually use the box when I play through the course. I usually just long jump through it because it's more fun and it's funnier, I think. To have Dr. Bigfoot yell at you. Of course, in this version, you don't have Dr. Bigfoot. Oh, so at some point we managed to, like, smush together these two rooms and get rid of that ugly orange connector geometry, which is nice, I guess. I forget, is Jeff still using a grid units multiples of 6 in here? I don't remember. I think at some point he learned his lesson, and oh no, this is still the same room. Never mind, this is still the same exact room. But yeah, eventually we completely scrapped this area and redid it, and then that caused him to make the geometry on grid the second time around. And that was just one example of us constantly throwing things out and redoing them. If you're a mod maker, please don't do that. Like, you know, and if you have to do that, like, you better have a good reason to do it. We had a good reason because nothing worked. There's no ladder to get back up here, so if I just jump down here, I can't get down there. Well, I can get down here, maybe. Oh, yeah. Evil teleport. So, yeah, this is what you do when you're lazy. Instead of, like, actually making a ladder, you just teleport the player back up there. Oh, yeah, so this is that area where the dark maze used to be. Apparently, like, Jeff Mod decided he didn't like the dark maze, so he got rid of it. I don't know. Like, I think it could have been, like, a fairly decent idea, but... well, and this is the wrong way because there was a do not enter thing, and I'm just an idiot, so I'm just gonna jump down here. Ah, flare room. There's some bug with the text, but basically it just says... so, story about the flare room is that the guys on the Black Mesa forums wanted us to include flare training for whatever stupid reason, even though it's used in like one level in Black Mesa. Look at how little light they give. It's almost useless. They're really more useful lighting zombies on fire than they are for actually lighting your path. That's what your flashlight is for. But yeah, we have this room here because the guys on the Black Mesa forums wanted flares for training, so yeah, fine, whatever. We eventually got rid of it because it was stupid, and it was kind of pointless, honestly. That vent doesn't go anywhere, but I'm gonna break it. I don't know why this is even here, but it doesn't go anywhere. Let's see. Ladder. And here we are, almost to the shooting range. And the shooting range is still not textured, and well, the connector geometry is a little bit cleaned up, but like it still looks exactly the same as it used to, with the exception of a new Gina model.
Welcome to the Black Mesa target range, where you will receive training in firing a weapon.
And we still have the overly complicated, ridiculous robotic target delivery system, but with a slightly prettier target this time around. Yeah, and my best friend, the Robo Range Master Glock delivery robot, has gotten an overhaul thanks to our wonderful prop modeler Lars. He actually worked like to make beautiful robot models for this system that we eventually scrapped because it was a terrible idea. Oh yeah, at this point, the firearms instructor is actually like a feature of this. I don't know why Gina's still here though. We're still doing 6 shots, not 7. Yeah, if you weren't here for my commentary about 7 shots versus 6 shots, one of our testers brought up the fact that 7 shots just worked out better mathematically, and so that's what we did. Oh, this was like, this took me I spent a lot of time on this robot, which was really dumb of me because it was a terrible idea, but whatever.
To fire your grenade launcher, use your alternate fire button.
Okay, so the MP5 rack is still here.
When hit by grenade.
Oh, and yeah, and I guess, and Lars took the time to spruce up these grenade box models for this this conveyor belt of infinite grenades that we eventually got rid of because it was a terrible idea.
Waiting to run out of ammunition at
wow.
a critical time.
There's just like endless grenades. Look at that. They just don't stop. Crypt says Lars is actually an engineer, so many of his props were actually realistically feasible. Yes, that he's a retired mechanical engineer, and a lot of his props that he made for us had a lot of like attention to detail in them because he was a mechanical engineer. So that was a wonderful touch, and well, thank you, Lars, for being so cool. What am I doing? Oh yeah, so again, this shooting range is exactly the same as the last time we showed the shooting range. So, you know, with the exception of now there's like little rails, courtesy of Lars, and little like things for them to attach to, so they're no longer floating in midair at the very least.
Congratulations.
You win! Yay! Well, that message is still there. I didn't get rid of it yet.
Advance to the next area.
And the swimming section, which is still an Olympic pool. Why is it an Olympic pool? And do I have to smash my face against this? I still have to smash my face against the door to open it. Gina, you're too quiet. I can't hear you. Yeah, sure. Olympic pool dive board. Yeah. The tube looks a little more reasonable now, at the very least. Oh wait, is this the build with the water maze? Hold on. This might be the build with the water maze. I forget it. Is it? Oh, wonderful swimming up animation, Gina.
Heads-up display returning to its previous level.
Okay.
You are free to swim on to the end of the course.
Okay, so is this the build with the water maze? This is the build with the water maze. So, this is a very fun story. So, I thought that we could extend the swimming section to be more interesting, because like it's literally just you swimming in a straight line for like 5 minutes. It's not that interesting. So I thought, hey, let's make it more interesting by making it into an underwater maze that is really confusing and dark, and you can't see more than like 5 feet in front of you. Can I even okay, here's air. Needless to say, the testing team reacted overwhelmingly negatively to this. Where the hell do I even go? I don't even remember the solution to this maze, by the way. I'm just kind of like, I'm just wandering. I don't know where to go. So the reaction from the testers was, oh, really? I guess that's a red herring that I put there. I'm not supposed. Fine. So the reaction from the testing team was basically everyone either drowned, like they would just give up and just drown in this maze, or they decided to turn on cheats and enable no clip to get to the end because it was so awful and they did not want to bother with this maze. I don't even know where I'm going at this point. Crap. Okay, I have to go there. The blinking red light means I have to go there. This is a dead end, I think. Oh, no. Wait, no, that goes backwards. Crap. Well, that's the only way out, so I guess this is the right way. There's nowhere to surface for air in this room, by the way, so I have to, like, get to an air pocket before I die. Yeah, here's an air pocket. Okay. So, do I take left or right? I think left is the wrong way to go. That's just a hunch. Right, now I'm, like, on the completely, like, wrong side of the maze. I don't know where to go at this point. Alright, let's just... There's only one way to go, so there's this pipe here. At least I think there's only one way to go. I hope this is the only way to go, because it's more than... This is a terrible, terrible idea. Here? What's here? Where am I even? Alright, I'm a little closer to the end. Oh, no, dead end. Crap. Is there... No, that's also a dead end. Okay. Alright, so I guess the other way was the right way. So yeah, this was my genius idea to add something fun to the swimming section of the Hazard course. And now I'm having a taste of my own medicine. I'm so sorry that you have to go through this, testers. I apologize profusely. Is this the end? This better be the end. This is the end! Oh my god, yes. Alright, here we are. We made it. Here we are. Michael Ted. We did a little bit, but not that much. And these Half-Life 2 pump thingies are still here because we didn't even touch this room since the last alpha. And again, way too many batteries for whatever strange reason. I think my reasoning was like it forced you to be at full health and full suit if you just ran through here because there were just so many batteries you just automatically picked them all up. I think that was my reasoning behind it. But that came at the expense of this being the most ridiculous inventory ever, so we toned that down for the release.
If you pass through fire or steam, you will see...
Ah, crap. Are we still good? Are we alive? I don't know what is wrong with internet here. Okay, yeah, so, heard the start of my name. Mike? Was I talking about Mike? I don't remember if I was talking, I think something about Ickies or something. So basically my rationale, I was talking about those batteries in the HEV suit charger room. The reason, I think my reasoning for having so many batteries in there was so that you can just brush against the batteries and you'd automatically be at 100 suit, regardless of what you did with the charger. And that was my way of forcing you to, of course that came with the downside of being the most ridiculous inventory ever devised. And this is the second version of the fire room. Thankfully, this version doesn't, like, crash like the first one did, so we don't have a risk of crashing here. We do have a risk of a slow frame rate, I believe. So it's very similar to the release version, with the exception that everything is still orange and we haven't decorated it yet. But with a distinct difference, and you'll see what I mean. Oh, I hear a creaking noise. Creaking. Oh! Okay. So, the story behind this is that it drops you down here with propagating flames. Thankfully, the flames don't get past here, I think. And the idea behind this was that... Oh, crap. The idea behind this was that you were supposed to... The player is supposed to sit here and watch the barrels explode safely behind the fence, relatively. And And then once the barrels are done exploding, you can charge through this door here and go right through. Now the problem with this is that all of the testers thought that they had to just go through immediately. So they wanted to just run through here while the barrels were exploding. So to counteract that, what I did was I put a lock on this door that would like break after some time. But what the testers did was they smashed the lock and they went through there anyway, even though the barrels were clearly exploding. Like apparently they just wanted to die. Even though my intention was like, no, you're an idiot, please don't die. I want you to watch the pretty exploding effects. But yeah, so there was no real way to communicate to the player that they had to wait. So most people ended up just dying here because of the barrels exploding on them. And this is the beginnings of the whole wheel into socket puzzle. Yeah. Go up here. Health and battery. This wheel is in relatively the same position as the final wheel in the last version. Oh, did I not finish? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, it just takes a while for the fire to extinguish. Okay. Interestingly enough, there is smoke in this room, in this version of the room. You can see the smoke particle effects, whereas in the final version of the room, there is no smoke. And as far as I can tell, the smoke does not seem to have a huge effect on frame rate. I think I cut it eventually because of frame rate issues. But I don't know. It might be worth looking into to put the smoke back, because I think the smoke is interesting, actually. I would not mind putting it back if it does not come at a cost of terrible frame rate. Oh yeah, these wheels, in the final version, these wheels delete themselves after like 5 seconds, I believe. And that's because, like, obviously they're really confusing. You can't tell whether you're supposed to use the red wheel or these blue wheels. Like, these blue wheels are, like, come out of these places where the fire jets come out. Like, the idea is that they just kind of come out and then they become debris, essentially. Testers got confused as to, like, are we supposed to use this to turn the wheel? So, in the final version, these actually delete themselves after about 5 seconds of inactivity. Or was it 1 second? After some time, they just disappear. And that's unnatural, but that's the lesser evil compared to the tester or player being confused. And there's no automatic trigger here, so apparently I have to push this button to open the next door. And the cold room is coming up next. Why would you use the trigger texture instead of, like, I don't know, something less strange? Alright, so the cold room, this basically looks the same, well, not basically, but it's roughly the same layout as the final version. Oh, there's a lot more goodies in this version, and there's no secret door here this time around. Alright, so...
proximity to radiation.
Oh, and there's no electric room in this version. It goes straight to the radiation room.
Biohazards are also indicated with aluminum.
Yeah, I was talking about how, like, eventually we got fed up with orange developer textures, and at some point Crypt made us a batch of different colored developer textures, like brown and white and gray, and I really appreciated that. Thank you very much, Crypt. We love you. Oh yeah, you crouch under instead. This is just, like, really high up for whatever reason. And this, I believe you don't have to actually long jump across, but whatever, I did that anyway. Is this the one with the glitch? Yeah, so this has a strange glitch. You can see through it. I don't know why this happens. For the longest time, we could not figure out why this happened. Eventually we solved it. I don't remember how we solved it, but this is not in the retail, this is not in the final version. Thankfully. And no, like, it was not because of no draw. Like, there are actually textures on that brush. I just genuinely do not understand why you can see through them. So yeah, this area is starting to look like it does in the final version, with the exception of these stairs, and I guess some detail on the ceilings is not here yet. Alright. Onward. Why did that pipe look like it was made of bricks? What pipe? Oh, yeah, the pipe that you crawl out of. Good question. I don't know. Jeff Mod decided that was an interesting, choice of texture. And nobody disagreed. I thought it was alright. I still think it's alright. So, first texture pass over this room.
Hello, Doc.
Hello there. It looks very similar to the way it does now.
My God, run for your life!
Of course, the script was not implemented yet, so I still have to deal with the default Black Mesa voices.
Turret defense systems activated. Sector attention D. Security personnel 2. Sector D.
Jeff says oops. Well, I wouldn't say oops. Actually, like, I don't see a problem with those bricks being with that pipe being made of bricks. I don't see a problem with it. In my opinion, it's fine. Here's the SWAT team. They're very silent. They don't yell at you because we didn't record them yelling at us. Right, I'm dead. And the bug where you load the save game and the elevator doesn't seem like it's moving. I think we eventually solved it. If this happens in the main release version, please let me know, because that is a bug if that were the case. Hello.
Okay, let's go for it.
Let us go for it. Yeah. So, testers complained that this area was too dark and they thought they had to go there instead. So that's why I eventually put an arrow here that points here, go here, please go here, and then I put a light there to make it more obvious that you have to go there. Okay, so this twisty hallway was designed to make sure that you could not stand here and shoot at the guy while he was walking away from the security thing. So in Half-Life 1, that was actually possible. Like, this hallway isn't here, so you can actually just stand right out the entrance and then shoot at him as he walks away. And then the doors all close and then the turrets deploy and then you can just still get to the tram and then finish the game anyway. I thought that was unacceptable, so that's why I added this curvy hallway. It's not in the final version because eventually we also added the security guard who takes your weapons, but in this version at least, this was intended to prevent you from having line of sight to the guard as he walks away, and it worked pretty well, I think. So, yeah.
Press your use key to engage
Tram
the
speech
train.
goes here.
Press your forward and backward keys to increase the
Right. So this was, I believe, the second or third version of the tram room here. At least the tunnels are very different now. Or are they? Actually, I'm not even sure. Yeah, they are. They curve now. So yeah. But the ending is still, I think, congratulation or something like that, right?
Congratulations on completing.
Oh, we fixed the typo here.
You are now fully certified for use of the HEV
And
Part 4
the ending is the same as Alpha 1. Except now there's a crowbar that appears here. And wait for it.
Go right on through, sir.
We can actually go right on through, sir. This time around. Ah, yes. Beautiful daylight. Out to the ending that looks nothing. It looks absolutely nothing like it does in the final version. And now I guess I sit here until it fades out or something. Yeah, it's fading out. Here we go. Alright, that was Alpha 2. Let's move on to Alpha 3. Well, it's faster than I thought it would be. Only 342 files? What? Really? That few? I do not recall Alpha 3 being that small. Alright, well. I'll take your word for it, Git. Git knows better than I do. Alright. On to Alpha 3. So this is the first version with the tram ride in like this version of the outdoors, like this version of the intro. So this was the first alpha that had that. Of course, the skybox still needs work. The Black Mesa theme is conspicuously missing, and I believe this version still does not have the moving camera trick, so you can still fall out of the tram if you're unlucky. Crip says, A3, where things were finally getting finalized. Yeah, we started to get our stuff together and like actually not be entirely terrible in some ways. So yeah. Of course, the tram station is missing all of its seats, and there's no annoyed scientist here in this version. And we're still using that anomalous materials door, whereas we eventually changed it to a custom door. And I believe Tom and Bill are still using their default Black Mesa lines.
You know, Barney's been pretty scarce around these parts. Guess his bar tab must have finally caught up with him.
And we still did not implement placeholder dialogue in this version of the mod. Crip says, but we're terrible in awesome ways. Yeah. And Jeff asks, A4 is when we started doing placeholder dialogue, and yes, yeah, we started doing placeholder dialogue in Alpha 4. You'll get to you will get to hear Jeff's mod's amazing voice. His voice acting talents are stunning. Okay, so the HR representative and Dr. Wimmer in the receptionist area just doesn't exist yet because this lobby is like the first this is the first time we actually like decided to put a lobby here. And this is the Habiter payroll office. What you mean I make dumb decision?
Well, it's about time.
Seriously, Ryan? That many? Ryan, seriously? He no fighting army? You question me? Yeah.
What is that stench?
So that counts as placeholder dialogue. So the idea of us lampshading the fact that you have like a crap ton of military grade hardware in the armory was here from Alpha 3. Jeff says, based on a real conversation. Yeah, so that was somewhat based on a real conversation that we had when we were discussing the logistics of having like 50 submachine guns down in the armory. Yeah, and then that eventually made its way into the script in a slightly edited form, as you can tell in the release version. Hey, Dr. Bickford. Finally! Simmerwitz, he's here. And Kleiner says, now if you don't suck, step through the door on your left to begin. Oh wait, is this the version where you can still like gib everyone? Yes, it is. So if I keep throwing things at him, where's that toolbox? If I throw things... crap. Ah, crap. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Please don't hurt me. I died. Ah, crap. Okay, you know what? Not worth going through that again. No clip. I'm not a cheater. Turn off cheats. Okay, so yeah, so it is possible to throw stuff at them. Oh, the outdoor soundscape is still playing because I no clip. But it's possible to throw things at these people and kill them, which is hilarious. And that's one way to get a Glock early, by killing the security guy, but let's not do that. Michael says, you should have taken out the guard first. Yeah, I agree. I should have taken out the guard first. So, sorry. So yeah, the way we solved the whole gibbing issue where you can like kill everyone with a toolbox is that we just made the toolbox and most of the physics objects not movable and you just can't pick them up anymore. It broke my heart to set the jiggly plant to immovable, but we had to do it. Otherwise the game would just break. And yet again, there's the guy that I stole from Black Mesa Inbound.
I am your holographic assistant. Let's begin by
and this room is starting to look a lot more like the room in the final build.
And I will appear to demonstrate certain moves.
With a few exceptions. Is this the first build with like the boot up sequence? It might be. It is! Okay, so this is when we implemented the boot up sequence. So, the boot sequence... Okay, so the way I implemented the boot sequence, actually, none of us have access to the source code for Black Mesa, so we are not allowed to just like write our own code to just add a boot up sequence, so I had to use some interesting hacks to get that to work. So what I did was, I created a gigantic like texture that says HEV and it has all the text on it, like I just made that in Photoshop, and then I cut it into tiny pieces in Hammer, and then I parented them, like I attached them to invisible doors and trains in a completely different room in a different part of the map, and then I had a camera watch that sequence as it unfolds, and then I had an entity projected onto your screen, which is, by the way, the same technique, like the camera overlaying trick is the same technique that they use to make the G-Man cutscenes. So, yeah, Source Engine does allow camera overlaying from like 2 different cameras at once, which is pretty cool.
You will now duck under the next set of obstacles. Please note that crouching will automatically shift your suit into stealth mode, minimizing movement noise.
Michael says, I wish Jeff put on a female voice and did all of Gina's lines.
Move on to the next area.
He tried a few times. He tried. As you'll see, he actually did all the placeholder voices for Gina as well, and he tried very hard for some of them to have a higher pitch. And be more memorable.
To get into these pipes, you will have to signal your suit to make a duck.
And then for other times where he had to voice Gina, he just completely gave up and just spoke normally, because I can probably guess that that takes a toll on your throat. Come on, open. Alright, here we are. And we still have not implemented the cave for this area, because we still had no idea what to do with these stupid concrete walls. However, this room is still exactly the same.
Into the ladder.
Funny how things work,
and
isn't it?
continue moving forward. If you want to come back down, just move backward.
That is an interesting choice of soundscape for this room. Alright.
The next
Alright, so at this point, like we have these water tube thingies, these cylinder thingies that look prettier than they did.
Now there's one more style of jumping you need to learn.
I think we made some progress.
Long jumping requires its own.
On the other hand, the long jump area still looks exactly the same as like the last alpha, with the exception of this thing actually comes up from the ground now, just like in the release version. And we still had no idea what to do with the textures in these rooms, so that's why they look very plain and ugly and kind of stupid. And I still did not connect this catwalk over there in this version. And there's no maintenance hallway in this version either.
Please start the lift.
Oh wait, this is the version where they started... I don't know. Is this the first version with dents in the floor because of like the people falling? I don't know.
Major fracture detected.
Things are starting to come together. The robotic health delivery system is still there, unfortunately. It took us a really long time to get rid of this. Like, it took us a while. It took me a while to decide to get rid of it. And same thing with the Glock robot in the shooting range. It took me a really long time to decide to get rid of that because I thought it was stupid. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother with this. Yeah, exploit. And now this connector hallway starts to look much more like an actual hallway, and it's starting to look more natural. And I believe this is, yeah, so this is the preliminary version of the room that eventually becomes the release version of this pushbox room. As you can tell, it looks a lot like, well, very much like, I don't know about a lot, but it looks very much like the way it will eventually become. Just needs a few lighting changes, a few coloration tweaks, and then it needs a Gina, and then it'll be exactly the way it is now. Okay, so here's a random elevator shaft. I'm not sure why this elevator was added, but it's cool, so I'm not complaining. This is the version without a ladder, so we're forced to take this elevator, which is really slow, and we're forced to actually look at the blocky shaft.
If you can't push the obstacle out of your way, you might try pulling it. To pull a box, pull up to it and
this room's starting to get more... Ooh, cockroaches. It's starting to get more interesting. Yes, and this was the point where we redid the crowbar room to not be on grid units of 6 units each for every dimension. Yes. And so this eventually became what you see in the release. So yeah, things are starting to actually come together. Good job, team. Oh, but this is still the version where we still, for whatever reason, insisted on having a flare training room. Right here. Flares are stupid, but the it's on the forum wanted them, so... Yeah. We're gonna be flare training today. Here's a jumping puzzle, which you can just completely avoid by just staying on the lift, by the way. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but, like, I never actually bothered doing the jumping puzzle every time I played through this map. Yeah, screw that. Too much effort. Crypt says, I added the elevator because it was cool and I knew no one would complain. Well, yeah, you're right. It was cool and nobody complained. I actually rather liked it. Alright, so this is the first time where we actually decided that, hey, maybe his training was accidental, so therefore the normal path is through here, but then we redirect him through here. Of course, at the time we didn't have the range booth kind of monitoring the area, and we don't have him exclaiming, "Oh, he looks like an orange tank." But
welcome to the Black Mesa
and for some reason, Gina is still narrating this, probably because of placeholder voices.
Weapon, reloading,
and there's my old friend, Blocky the robot. And still 6 shots. The targets look dirtier this time around, unless I'm hallucinating. No, not 7, 6. No, that was 7, but I missed one. Hey, Robo Range Master Tram 9000.
To fire your grenade launcher,
oh, this is the first version of the model of the MP5 rack, instead of being like
you'll have to hit every target in order
thing made of brushes.
Course. But
oh,
if you miss the first
and then here we kind of made
this.
We got rid of the conveyor belt and made it into a much smaller conveyor belt.
Critical time.
Yeah. So it's still infinite grenades, but a little bit more reasonable this time.
Commencing sequence in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We still didn't have the finalized versions of the targets. But yeah, this is starting to look basically like what it will eventually turn out to be in the release version, other than the targets.
Congratulations. You have completed
You
the
win.
last
Oh, I still didn't get rid of that
message.
message.
Please advance to the next area.
Alright. And here's a random green crate. I don't know how it's physically possible to even put this crate here, but whatever. We eventually got rid of it for the release. So, you are welcome.
30%.
Ah, welcome back. Did you learn something about security duties? Are we still in Olympic pool? We're no longer in Olympic pool. Oh, and I no longer have to smush my face against the door.
Your HEV
So now it's like a big water tank instead of an Olympic pool. Alright, and we're gonna die. Whee! And at this point we have wised up and gotten rid of the stupid, awful water maze.
Come up and catch your breath.
Wonderful swim up animation.
Oxygen indicator on your suit's heads-up display, returning to its previous.
Okay, so that was like an attempt at a waterfall.
Swim on to the end of the
It's you can see it's very glitchy. Like it works, sort of. No, it doesn't work at all. I thought it would be cool, but we just were unable to get a good waterfall going until later on when we messed with particle effects, and by then we'd gotten rid of that big room over there, so there was no point. What is oh, okay, yeah. So this is the first time we attempted to texture this canal area. For the longest time we had no idea what to do. I added those columns and some catwalks in an attempt to make it interesting. I failed. Obviously. Alright, let's move on to the next part of the course. PSR Hamster. This is foreshadowing what we would eventually become, Team PSR. And Hamster is just Hamster. And the Half-Life 2 pumps are still there.
This is the charging unit for your hazardous environment.
Ah, this is the point where I got rid of all of the excessive batteries from this stupid dispenser system.
45%.
Alright. Alright.
60%.
If you pass through fire,
The following rooms are a series of simulated lab disasters. They will demonstrate firsthand how goddamn awesome that suit is. You know what? I agree. The suit is goddamn awesome. Alright, so Fire Room version, I believe 3 now? This is the 3rd version of the Fire Room. To recap, the last version of the Fire Room had us like walking onto the catwalk and it would dump us onto the floor, and then we were supposed to watch the barrels explode, but players never did that. They just ran through the barrels and died because they're idiots. Now let's see how it's different. Ah, yes, it's basically exactly how it is in the release version of this room. With the exception that it seems much more laggy. Holy crap, it's lagging. 20 FPS. Oh yeah, flickering light. That's why it's so laggy. So this is laggy because Source does not like flickering lights, and it will kill your frame rate if you so much as look at a light that's flickering. You probably did not notice in the release version, but the light does not flicker in the release version. Instead, it's just a constant light, and therefore the frame rate is not like 2. Nope. Wrong. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So people eventually complained that this wheel is too hard to see. Like, there's a giant arrow and a blinking light that just points up to it and says, hey, here is where you're supposed to be. But people miss that, because I think this arrow is not very obvious, for one thing. So eventually, in the release version, you might have realized that this wheel is just horizontal, just like those wheels in the final version. Oh my god, the frame rate. Get out of here, get out of here. Can't stand the frame rate. Oh, there we go. Michael says, I took the wheel down the ladder. Yeah, so the the wheel socket being on the ceiling was such a bad idea that when I gave the room to Michael to first test this, he actually did not even, he completely missed the socket and he took it down the ladder without actually like, without actually using the wheel, and he got really confused and I think he died a few times. Here's the first instance of the secret batteries that everybody misses. Yeah.
100%.
Wait, am I supposed to... Oh, there's a button here that you're not supposed to press. Okay, so here's the electric room again. Jumping puzzle. Still the remnants of the old logic puzzle. There used to be a logic puzzle, like as I mentioned before, where the water is electrified, right? And there's supposed to be a fence door that opens and closes based on whether the power is on. And this switch in the old proposed version was that you could press this switch, it was actually open, and disable the water electricity, but at the same time it would close this door. So you had to, like, I forget the exact solution, but you had to like find a plug or something and like de-electrify the water to, like, and then toggle the electricity on and off in order to actually get through. I thought it was a pretty cool logic puzzle, but it does not make sense in a training level, so I got rid of it. And yes, as I said, there is an alternate route through this room that came from the logic puzzle days, but it
Proximity to radiation activates a Geiger counter and radiation.
But eventually, I just left that there, even after I got rid of the logic puzzle.
With the luminous icon.
All right. This time we're jumping over these instead of going under them. And here I widened the gap between this pipe and there, so you would have to either like long jump, or you would have to just run through it and force you to take damage. I don't know. And oh my god! Whoa! What? Okay, this is even worse. I don't even. I actually have no clue why this happens. I'm just glad it's fixed now. Congratulations, you have completed the Black Mesa Hazard course trying to kill you. Please advance to the place where you have to learn to be friends with people. Alright. Alright, we're on Alpha 3, right? So after Alpha 3, the next version, Alpha 4, I believe that's when we started implementing the placeholder voice acting by Jeff, and you're in for a special treat.
Into the next room.
I'm not gonna bother like trying to shoot him or piss him off or anything, because like we've already seen that. You know what happens. The SWAT team thing basically stayed the same throughout development ever since Alpha 1. I've made very few changes to it. And here was the first time we added the weapons deposit scene in this area rather than way later after the tram. And then adding it here basically negated the reason for us having this curvy hallway, which now makes no sense. So that's why we got rid of the curvy hallway. And yeah, so this was like the third or fourth attempt at this tram station. You can see that we have these white dev textures, courtesy of Crypt, because we hate orange, remember.
Press your use key to engage the
and the reason for redoing this tram room yet again was because I believe the dimensions were all wrong, which is like a recurring theme with Jeff's work. I mean, oh, this is my favorite part. We call that Blur Mesa because it is blurry and it's sort of a mesa. So in the final version, there's like an actual like proper mountain there. This is blurry because this was taken from the skybox map from like surface tension. You're never supposed to see this thing up close, and that's why it's so low resolution, and thus Blur Mesa was born. More dev textures. Okay, so this is like the first version of the outro scene in which there is nobody to give you an outro. Yeah. Alright, so that was Alpha 3. There's a lot to talk about, actually. This is taking longer than I thought. Alright, so Hazard Course Alpha 4 is coming up next. You are in for a real treat as we restore 1,548 files. Jeff Mod, I believe, started doing the placeholder voice acting in this version, and I'm looking forward to this because for the longest time we were stuck with his voice acting. And we were forced to play through this stupid game over and over and over again for like, I don't know, about a year or something, with Jeff's voice burned into our head. Jeff Mod says, "Oh no!" And I say, "Oh yes!" Alright. We get to show off his wonderful voice acting skills. Too long, too long. Alright, 100% Alpha 4, let's go! Alright, and at this point we got rid of the dev commentary option because honestly we just never used it and we never will, probably. Actually we might. You want to do it? I guess we could. Yeah, it would take more time though. We could be doing other things. Alright. Oh, he didn't do the Tram announcer voice. Okay, fine. Fine. We'll deal with it. But at the very least, the Black Mesa theme is back. And this is the first version that I implemented the disembodied camera trick for this Tram. So, as you can tell, when I jump, my momentum is preserved, and that is because of the moving camera trick, in which I'm not actually in the Tram, and like there's a disembodied camera in here that mimics my movements. And this is the first version that is free of Tram physics glitches, and so I'm no longer able to just like drop out of the Tram and get stuck forever. Alright. Oh, that's our door. It's not textured yet. Cool. But there are some chairs.
Tom.
Oh, yes.
Tom. What? Customers. Oh. Hey. Sorry about that. It's a good read. You're Dr. Freeman, right? We were told to expect you.
This is wonderful. I'm gonna like shut up every time they're talking, just so like you can hear the beauty of Jeff's placeholder voice acting. Crypt says, I didn't texture that door until like a month or two before release. And yeah, that's a true fact. We did not texture this damn door for the longest time. Michael says, sounds a little quiet. Yeah, it's a little quiet. I don't know why. Maybe I can turn up the volume? Whatever.
They're doing a series on the Hazardous Environment Combat Unit. Those guys do seriously good work. Sure. I'd like to see you team.
Yeah, so you can tell that their lips aren't synced. Like when they're talking, but their lips aren't moving. So the reason for that is we're using placeholder voice work, which meant adding lip sync would have been a huge waste of time because we'd have to redo it again for the final voice work anyway. So throughout this build, and I think beta 1 build, you'll see them talking, but their lips will just not move. Here's the HR representative.
We've been waiting for you. Don't worry, I'm sure you hit some traffic in the middle of the desert. At any rate, welcome to the Black Mesa training facility. Things are in a state of commotion this morning, but we're glad you're here. I see you've already signed our legal disclaimer. I, Gordon Freeman, hereby agree to the following terms, blah blah blah, in any case of serious injury, dismemberment, toxic poisoning, burns, rashes, lesions, blah blah, etc., hereby agree to waive all rights as an employee of the Black Mesa Research Facility. Okay, very good. Now, just come with me and we'll get you prepped for the hazard.
Yeah, that clipboard. That damn clipboard. This is the first time we attempted to use that clipboard. We didn't even like put too much effort into it, that's why it looks absolutely terrible, even worse than the release version. So, yeah, Fun fact, clipboard sucks.
I know I said do what you feel is right, sir. But did we really need to buy so many supplies for the Administrator's Enhanced Security Training Program? The contractors offered a very good bulk deal. True. But isn't it a bit excessive to have 50 submachine guns and 500 impact grenades on site? We only have the facilities to train one person at a time. Are you questioning my decisions? Well, of course not.
So I think Jeff had a little bit too much fun with this, actually. Like, he just started making up random voices for all the characters in the most racist accents ever. But that's okay, we still love him.
Oh dear. Why aren't these sensors working? I hope they're not needed for today's training run. Ah, salutations, Gordon. I thought I should drop in to welcome you, as well as to ensure everything goes smoothly for you. They assure me all the training facility software is in working order. Best of luck. Welcome to the Hazardous, Dr. Freeman. I trust you've read the pamphlet, so we'll just skip ahead to the information it omitted. We'll be monitoring your vital signs remotely.
God, Bickford's voice.
TV suit you'll be using. But do pay attention to your adrenaline flow, fatigue, any lightheadedness, extreme pressure, arrhythmia, or potential fractures. You know, the usual. Most of the course is self-explanatory, often literally, but we'll be around to give you any tips you might need, as well as to grade you on your performance. So do try to give us a good show, and enjoy yourself in there. Oh yes, before I forget again. There was a clerical error. You were signed up for additional training by accident. The instructor has already arrived, so you'll have to suffer through it. The entrance is the elevator shaft on the left of the room, Dr. Freeman.
So yeah, I'm gonna make this a little quieter. So, Crypt says,
Should we recompile?
Crypt says, oh, that Bickford voice almost became final, and that is a true fact. We almost used Jeff's version of Bickford, because for the longest time we could not find an acceptable voice actor for Dr. Bickford. Not until like weeks before release. Like, it was actually ridiculous. We were panicking because everything was done. All the voice acting was done except for Dr. Bickford. So until we had that finished, like, we put a lot of the choreography on hold because a lot of it involved Dr. Bickford, which meant that delayed a lot of things. And then as we came closer and closer to the end of 2015, we started panicking more and more. Eventually, we found the wonderful Josh Jones to play Dr. Bickford. He was great. I think he basically made the character, honestly. And he's really talented too. Like, he did the entire recording section in just like 3 takes, and all of those takes were basically perfect. Like, on the first try. We only had to give him like a few pointers, and it was just very smooth from there. So yeah, we love you, Josh. All right. I believe this is also the first version that has the timer at the end. So if you were wondering, the timer is supposed to start as soon as these doors open. So if you were wondering, that's where I start measuring it.
And welcome to the Black
And this is
Mesa
the first
Hazard
build
Course,
with one of these
where you'll be
beautiful
trained in
buttons.
the use of the hazardous
I believe it was a joint project by
I am your
Crypt and Jeff
holographic
Mod.
assistant.
They both
Let's
worked on
begin
this,
by
right?
stepping
Correct me if
into
I'm
your
wrong.
suit, suspended up ahead of you. If you see
And there's
one
that
of
guy
these
that I
buttons,
stole from Black Mesa
and
Inbound.
I will appear
I'm just
to
gonna keep pointing him out.
demonstrate certain moves.
He's always gonna be there. Jeff says, yeah, he did the skin, I did the model. Okay, yeah, so Crypt did the texture for the button, and Jeff Mod did the model for the button. So they
Is
did
there
a
a problem with the suit, Dr. Freeman?
Oh my god. Is there a problem with the suit, Dr. Freeman? I'm gonna wait. Will he say anything more? I forget.
Is it really that hard to put it on?
Hold on. I'm gonna quick save here. Put on the suit.
Alright, let's get on with it.
So, if any of you are following us on ModDB, you'll know that you will have heard that line, that placeholder line. Alright, let's go on with it. In our video where we first showed off the HEV boot sequence. So that is where that line came from. That's just Jeff Mod trying to be a Bickford. Alright, if I save here and I kill myself...
He's not moving! What do we do? Inform his next of kin. I don't think we can revive him from that.
I love the way Jeff delivered those lines, even though we never like ended up actually using them. But like I just love that.
So much for the protective properties of the HEV suit. Dr. Freeman, stay with us.
This is wonderful. I could do this all day. I think there's one more line that can be said if you die.
Dr. Freeman? Dr. Freeman? Get a medical team down there now!
Dr. Freeman? Dr. Freeman! Dr. Freeman! Yeah, so we were pretty close to making a Metal Gear reference there. I believe that was the reason for those lines in the script.
Moving around in your HEV suit can be slightly disorienting at first. Take a moment to
there's no rat scene in here yet. Yeah, so the rat was actually like a last second addition or something. Like that came very late in development. We were like almost about to release, and then we added the rat. So yeah, and then we had problems with making the rat like at all. Originally, we wanted the rat to be an NPC, but the source engine blew up on us and like just refused to allow the rat to be an NPC for whatever reason. So instead, we just kind of made it a prop that is animated and has a set path, and you can't kill it, which is unfortunate, but hey, the things you have to do. So yeah, so if we jump down here into the wastewater.
I know the pipes say wastewater, but you needn't worry. It's not that type of wastewater. Actually, it is. Oh. Well, don't worry. I'm sure it's been filtered at least a bit. You'll be sprayed with disinfectant before you leave the course anyway. For all our benefit.
Crypt keeps telling us that, or telling Jeff rather, that the way he delivered those lines as Dr. Simowitz, like, were very good. I think I agree, actually. Yeah, and Crypt just says said in the chat like seconds ago here. Jeff's "Oh" is my favorite line. Perfect delivery. Yeah, it was pretty great. Oh yeah, I can sprint now because I have the suit.
The first move we will practice in the hazard
we still
course
don't have a
is
jump
basic
animation
jumping.
because
You will attempt to get over this set of pipes using only
I think
your run and
I think Michael
jump
was still
command.
working on that first
It
jump
helps
animation
to
at
get
this
a
point.
running start. Watch me and then try it yourself.
Do you hear Kleiner? I think I barely heard Kleiner. He's tiny.
You will now duck under
Okay,
the
I get
next
it.
set
You're
of obstacles.
ducking, you're
Please
quiet.
note that crouching will automatically shift your suit into stealth.
Good work, Gordon. You're quiet as a church mouse.
That's really quiet.
Now we will combine skills. You will need to jump, duck, and then jump again.
Good work. Ready for the next room, I'd say.
I can't get enough of Jeff's placeholder voice acting.
To
It's
get into
wonderful.
these pipes, you will have to signal your suit to make a duck jump. You'll want to stand right at the mouth of the pipe and continue to press forward. Then jump up, and while you're in midair, go into a crouch.
Wait a minute.
It's tricky, but you'll find it comes in
Were we
handy.
able to do the exploit in this version of the course with the lines implemented? Hold on, let me try. No, okay, so yeah, that skip has always been possible. it wasn't until I think beta 1 that we actually implemented voice work that like has the scientist yelling at you for doing that. Yeah.
Didn't hit your head, I hope.
Mike says, Kleiner is as quiet as a church mouse. Yeah, that was quiet as a church mouse. Funny enough, in the voice acting sessions for Dr. Kleiner with Mike Hillard, the voice actor who does Kleiner in Black Mesa, one of the outtakes was basically him yelling, "You're quiet as a church mouse," like extreme full volume, and I don't know, that was kind of funny. Do we still have that file? That would be kind of cool if we did. Then we could like release outtakes or something.
The next 3 jumps get harder each time, but they are quite possible.
Oh, hold on.
Be careful. That suit is worth more than your salary.
If you can make all 3 in a continuous run.
Are you all right? Make sure you're giving your legs enough room to clear the edge.
I'm just gonna try and trigger as many Jeff lines as I can, just
Great
to
work.
show him off
now
to you guys.
there's one more style of jumping you need to learn. Long jumping requires its own charging module, seen here. To activate your long jump, you will have to duck and move forward, and then launch into a jump.
Oh, so this was like the first time I attempted to like make this room a little bit more interesting. As you can see, like instead of a wall here, now there's like mesh fence and like some metal beams, courtesy of our good friend Lars, the prop modeler. It's still not quite what we ended up with in the final version, though. As if you've been following, if you know our media at all and have played the Hazardous course at all, you would know that this is nowhere near what it ended up being, because again, I still had no idea what to do with this room, and this room too. Ah, here's the first version where I actually attached the catwalk to here and made these boxes block it. So the reason being that like it felt more natural from like a construction perspective to like actually connect that area, you know. So yeah, minor details, they make the game. Oh, and this is the maintenance tunnel that replaced those boring stairs from the older versions. Oops, I can't ladder. Can't believe we still need to teach people how to use ladders.
Please start the lift by moving up to the button, looking at it, and pressing the use key.
Okay, so I think in this version,
now
we definitely have the lines.
There's only one way down. Find the target on the floor below and do your best to hit it. If you take any damage from the fall, we will administer medical care at the next station.
Alright, yeah, so I think this should have the lines where like the scientists yell at you if you like fall behind the fence. Go!
Very good, Freeman. Next time you might want to try to follow directions, however. Let me just activate the remote lock on the door.
Yeah. Very good, Freeman. Does this version... No, this version does not have the morphine skip. Okay, yeah. At least it doesn't have those lines in it. So... this saddens me because
like
Lars, our prop modeler, actually like built a beautiful model for my robot health delivery system that eventually got thrown away. So I'm sorry that I had to negate all your hard work, Lars. All right, more of that. This basically the same.
To spin that bridge, walk up to the control wheel and press.
Careful with that long jump module. I have to give him credit. That's clever.
And Crip says Lars actually made a lot of really nice models that eventually got scrapped. Yeah, he did. He's really good at what he does, honestly. And he has a lot of free time. He is easily one of the most productive members of the team. Like when nobody was doing anything, he would be pumping out new models like that. It was absurd. Like he was pretty good at that.
Sometimes you'll need to rely on more
Alright,
than
so
just your
let's
suit
try and
to
trigger
get
some
through
more
a
Jeff
tight
dialogue
place.
by going here.
What you really need to do on your own.
Okay, that's a bug.
Down into the pit. Pushing is easy. Just move forward against the box, and you can push it into position.
You better not be getting a drink down there.
I thought we sent someone down there to fix that leak.
Did we?
Anyway. Alright, so... And then trigger another Jeff dialogue by doing this.
I knew we should have added a checkpoint to take that off, trainees.
I believe we eventually changed that line. I'm not sure what happened to the history of that line. Okay, so... elevator... By the way... Oh, crap. Taking that ladder is faster, for obvious reasons, because this elevator is actually pretty slow. I can't jump out of the elevator because it's moving, because source physics are weird. Alright, whatever. Oh, Gina, what happened to you?
If you can't push the obstacle out of your way, you might try pulling it. To pull a box, move up to it and press your use key. While holding down the use key to keep a grip on the box, move slowly backward. The box will come along with you. Finally, if nothing else works, you can try breaking the objects in your path. Make sure you picked up the crowbar, then simply smash your way through the debris.
Okay, so I believe this is the first time that you can like blow up like her hologram thing. Whoa! Gina is solid and she's bleeding. Oh. I never knew you could do that in this version of the Hazard course. I can put bullet holes in Gina and she can spew blood. Okay, that makes sense, sort of.
Dr. Freeman, why do you insist on destroying expensive equipment? Do not tell him how much that suit is worth!
Right, so it blew up, but it didn't actually, like, make Gina disappear, which is strange.
Those are custom built! We can't replace them willy-nilly!
Yeah.
I haven't seen that solution before. Well, saves us having to find more crates to reseal.
Do we have the or not? No, we don't have the or not.
Try breaking the vent covering the floor. That's why we put it there.
Oh, do we still have the...
Activate your suit flashlight for the next area.
We still have the stupid, flare room in this version of the course. We still have that text. We still have that text. We're good guys, I swear. Actually, you know what? I don't even need flares. Like, the flares are basically useless. They provide almost no light. I may as well just use the flashlight here. So that was another reason why we scrapped the room, because, like, honestly, you don't even need the flares to get past this room.
Great. Remember, your flashlight drains power, so switch it off when you don't need it.
Don't worry, we'll get you a fresh set of rechargeables when we issue your suit. Auxiliary power shouldn't be a problem anytime in the next decade.
Let's try and trigger some more lines.
Going for a swim, Dr. Freeman.
Good thing those bars are there where you get washed away completely.
Alright. Some doors ripped off directly from questionable ethics. Ethically questionable to do that, by the way.
Oh, that's right. The scheduling snafu. I hope you don't have an aversion to firearms. We've already paid for your accidental lesson.
I believe that line got modified at some point to what it became now.
Oh, I was expecting a security recruit. Well, whatever. You're about to get dispensed a standard issue 9mm pistol and ammunition. Hold it in a two-handed grip feet apart. Okay, basic safety. Always treat a weapon like it's loaded, and don't point it at anything you don't want to destroy.
Yep, so this is the first version where we sadly killed off our good friend Robo Rangemaster Tron, otherwise known as Glocky, the robot. And instead we just have the Glock Palace just come up from the floor, because honestly,
Keep your eyes and weapons
it was just getting
range,
ridiculous.
and only put your finger on the trigger when you're ready to fire. Now place 7 shots in the center ring of each target.
Now, I don't know if you guys can tell, but these range and structure lines, like the lines that he's speaking, eventually like almost got entirely replaced by Mikey's wonderful improv lines, so that was pretty cool.
You've never shot a gun before, huh?
Yeah.
Your handling could stand to be a bit better, but you managed to figure out reloading on your own. Very good. Head into the armory behind you. Okay, now the next bit's a tad more dangerous, so careful you don't accidentally pull any triggers. You got your standard 9mm submachine gun set up with an attached impact grenade launcher. Grab some more ammo and grenades, and I'll open up the next room for you. Whoa, finger off the trigger, bud. It's called discipline. Not another accident, huh? You're shooting at me on purpose.
Alright, yeah. Yeah, so we still have these this grenade conveyor belt thing. I don't know why it took us so long to figure out that ammo crates were a good idea. Like, it took us surprisingly long to reach that conclusion. We didn't even have the idea for the longest time. I don't know why.
You'll have to hit every target in order to proceed. If you miss the first time, don't worry. They'll come around again. Some targets are behind cover. Use grenades to hit them. Go to the marker on the floor when you're ready. Commencing sequence in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have at it.
Oh yeah, this is the first version where the targets are no longer strange metal silhouettes, and now they're like actual proper targets made of like plywood or whatever. But otherwise, exactly the same from previous alphas.
Bit overkill if you ask me, considering standard issue is the pistol. But I guess they gotta cover all contingencies. You'll run the rest of the course with that equipment, so be careful and don't hurt anyone on the way out. See you around, Adachi.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, so Jeff says, because we weren't low on edicts, in reference to the fact that we didn't come up with the idea of ammo crates for the longest time. Yeah, so the reason why we eventually switched to ammo crates was because in the source engine, each map has a limit on how many entities that you can have. Like, entities are just basically like any object in the game. So there's a hard limit on objects in the game. And
welcome back! Did you learn something about security duties?
But yeah, there's a hard limit on the number of objects you can have in the game at any given time. And at some point, oh, this is the first time we have a revised swimming area that is made by Crypt. Wonderful job, by the way. So, yeah. We no longer have an Olympic swimming pool and no longer a big giant tank of water. Now it actually somewhat makes sense. This was based on, I believe it was based roughly off of a real water treatment plant in like Canada or something. I don't know. We had reference photos. Oh, what was I saying? Okay, edicts, right. So the source engine has a hard limit on the number of objects you can have in the game at any given time.
Come up and catch your breath.
Gina's not even here.
You will see the blood oxygen indicator
and
on
like
your suit's heads-up display returning to
we were running low on the number of objects that we could have in the hazard course for much of our time. So in fact, like, that would cause game crashes because we had way too many objects, or it would just cause like new objects to refuse to spawn because we were running out of space. And then that gave me the idea of, hey, what if we could replace the infinite conveyor belt of grenades and like the 20 or so MP5 magazines with just a single ammo box? And that single ammo box is only one object, so it saved us a lot of space for more objects to use, and it brought us back from the brink of crashing, actually.
This is the charging unit for your hazardous environment suit. When you are running low on...
And Crip says, made by Jeff, makeover by Chris. Half the course is makeover by Chris. And yes, half the course really is makeover by Chris, because Chris is one.
Series of rooms, simulate lab disasters and other hazardous conditions your suit is designed to protect you from. Do not worry. If you charge your suit in the previous room, you will be in no danger. And if you didn't, we have a medical team standing by.
We need a medical team on standby for the hazard course ASAP.
If you pass through fire or steam, you will see a heat damage icon lighting up. Directional indicators at the center of your display show you where damage is coming from.
So that was the first instance of Jeff doing a Gina voice, because we didn't have like an equivalent line from Half-Life that we could use as a placeholder, so Jeff recorded his Gina voice. And that was wonderful. Oh my god. And Fire Room, exactly the same, except, if I'm correct, I solved the problem where the frame rate went to like 2. I think. Okay, so the frame rate is hovering at like 30, 20... I don't think I solved the problem, did I? I didn't solve the problem. Okay, yeah, it's still bad. And this valve socket is still on the ceiling. I didn't change that yet in this version. And now I made the flames go out a bit faster than they used to. I think. Minor improvement. Do I still have to press this button to... Oh, I do. Okay, yeah. So
I bet you want a chance to cool down, huh?
Yeah. So at some point, we decided that having to push these buttons was stupid, so we got rid of them. And yes,
exposure to extreme cold will sap your suit's power supply. Make your way through the next chamber quickly.
So that's the first instance of Jeff just giving up on the Gina voice and just speaking normally because he didn't feel like messing with his voice.
The HEV suit dampens electric shocks as well. That doesn't mean you should go for a dip, though. And don't try to turn off the power. The room isn't designed for that.
Alright. Do I have to... Oh, I have to push the button. No, I don't have to... Do I have to actually push the button? Why is the door not closing? Okay, I think that's a bug.
Proximity to radiation activates a Geiger counter and radiation display. Biohazards are also indicated with the luminous icon.
Okay.
Don't worry, the suit is properly shielded in all the right places, and this is a very low dose for demonstration purposes only.
The market chemicals are probably just as radioactive as what we've allowed through.
Oops.
Even so, don't worry if your vision blurs a bit. Yes, that's perfectly normal.
Honestly, that Bigford voice must hurt like hell. Oh, we finally fixed that strange bug. I don't remember why that happened. Anyway, but yeah, doing that Bigford voice, like the HEV suit, something important, you're terrible. Like, that must have really hurt his voice. I don't know how he did that.
As demonstrated, the HEV suit is more than capable of keeping you safe from any and all forms of damage. Please use the elevator to your right.
And can I make him talk again?
As demonstrated,
yes, I can.
The HEV suit is more than capable of keeping you safe from any and all forms of damage. Please use the elevator to your right.
Alright, final stretch of this Alpha 4, and then after that is Beta 1. And then after Beta 1, I think that will be it, because the version after Beta 1 would have been like Beta 2, 3, 4, and that was just minor enhancements. We only had one beta session, like, we only had one round of betas, by the way, so Beta 1 is the only beta.
You may need to enter an area of the facility you do not have personal clearance to enter. Explain the situation to a guard, and they will let you through. Hello, sir.
Wait, does this version have the hello sir bug?
Occasionally, you may need to enter an area of the facility you do not have personal clearance to enter. Explain the situation to a guard, and they will let you through. Hello, sir.
Yes, it does! Oh, so this was a bug that turned into a mini meme.
Occasionally, you may need to enter an area of the facility you do not have personal clearance to enter. Explain the situation to a guard, and they will let you through. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. So yeah, basically, that happens because we tied his voice to that choreography, and that was just an oversight on our part. Wait, can I annoy him in this version? That's the important question. Hold on, let me blow stuff up.
Any idea how much it costs to replace one of those?
Yes, you can annoy him.
Hey, stop vandalizing stuff. What is wrong with you? I don't find vandals very handy. Mister, you just made my shit list. You do realize I have a gun, right? What the hell are you doing? Oh, well, need an excuse to replace it anyway. Kinda busy here, buddy. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, what did you say? You break my stuff, then you make me wait? Let's just hurry this up. You break my stuff, then you make sooner you leave me there, sooner we're done.
Yeah, sure. Alright.
Now you will just hand over your weapons.
Can I shoot him in this one?
Hopefully you're done loading first.
It works again? Ah, Twitch, why are you so terrible? Yeah, okay. So, I don't know, it's always like that one area that seems to do that. Alright, so basically, I was just wondering if you could shoot him and if you could react in this version of the Hazard course. Let's see.
You're done. It's bulletproof glass.
Oh my god, Jeff, what were you thinking?
We can do this all day. It's not my paycheck the damage comes out of.
We should have just kept that voice. Well,
frankly, I'd rather go back to being lonely instead of being subjected to this.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Alright. Go right on through, sir.
Fine, can we do the thing where we can talk to him afterward?
You know what I could use? A standing desk. Reduce your chances of a heart attack by like 50%, you know. I guess you've got to get going, huh?
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
You are now
Gina, what happened to you?
Use of the HEV Mark IV Hazardous Environment Suit. Please use this lever-operated train to transport yourself to the next stop, where you will be picked up by the training associates. Thank you for using the Black Mesa Hazard course.
You can like hear like background conversation as Jeff is recording that, by the way. Alright, let's like run away from this train. Go away. Oh yeah, and Blur Mesa is no longer blurry. As you can tell, we made a proper model for this thing and replaced the old terrible thing. And right now we're still using like a flat-ish skybox. We didn't implement the real world terrain data yet. So at this point, here a proper Exit and the timer.
Hid without the tram? Say cheese. Congratulations, Dr. Freeman. Yes, you actually made it. And in the 39th percentile of time used to complete it. Oh. The hazard course certainly shows us the diversity among our staff. Yes, well, and these numbers come from pushing person's best runs. A lot of the entries come from practice for the aid of the decathlon. Yes, no need to feel inadequate on your first run. I'm sure. No one else in the HEV training had to waste time shooting targets either. Well, at any rate, let's get the good doctor out of that training suit and onto the tour. I believe there's someone waiting for you. Right this way, Dr. Freeman. We have a car waiting.
We have a car waiting. Ooh. Okay, so that was Alpha 4. Alright, after this will be Beta 1, and then I think we'll be done with the stream. I think we could spare a bit of time for like questions and answers after that, but if anyone even has any questions. But we're almost there. Oh. Hazard course Beta 1. Alright. I think Beta 1 was the version where Jeff also did the Tram announcer voice. Yeah. Alright, Beta 1, here we are. Beta 1 was, it was kind of an arbitrary decision, but we defined Beta as the point where we locked in all of the gameplay and locked in the script, most importantly. So after Beta 1, the script was complete. So even in Alpha 4, the script was still kind of in flux, like things were changing. Beta 1 was when we finalized all of that, and you'll get to see, or hear, Jeff's final, well not final, but placeholder final lines, if that even makes sense. Alright, final stretch, here we go.
Current topside temperature is 79 degrees, with an estimated high of 90. The Black Mesa compound is maintained at a pleasant 68 degrees at all times.
Okay, yeah, so he's a bit quiet, but you could tell he did the Tram voice, and he is a wonderful PA system, I think.
Now arriving at Sector A, trading facility. Please stand back from the automated door.
Oh, that door. Still not textured, but it has a slightly different placeholder texture this time, at the very least. Here's the annoyed scientist. So, like, everything here is basically how it is in the retail, not retail, the final, I keep saying retail. So, this is basically how it is in the final release, with the exception of some polish. But all the features are now locked in. Everything you see here is basically the way it ends up being, with the minor exception of this.
If you're here to see someone at the Habiter and
voices.
Payroll office, better just have a seat. They're not open for another half an hour. Why they'd shove it so far away from the main entrance is beyond me. I didn't even know there was a second station for this place. I swear, if Keller chews me out for being late because of this, I'm going to resign.
Yeah, he's gonna resign.
Tom. What? Customer. Oh. Hi.
Oh wait, so
Sorry about that.
oh, this version has captions. Okay, that's also a nice touch. So
We were told to expect
yeah, I think this was the first version where we started implementing captions because we locked in the script. So at that point, we were accepting caption contributions from one of our testers and community contributors, PC Game Crazy. He did the captions for
They're
this.
doing a series on the Hazardous Environment Combat Unit. Those guys do seriously good work. Sure.
It's always so awkward. Like he waits like 10 seconds before saying sure.
Oh, he's here.
We've been waiting for you. Don't worry, I'm sure you hit some traffic in the middle of the desert. At any rate, welcome to the Black Mesa training facility. Things are in a state of commotion this morning, but we're glad you're here. I see you've already signed our
That damn
leave
clipboard.
disclaimer.
I think I tried to fix it a little bit here, and then I gave up, like halfway through. And then before release, I spent another like 2 or 3 hours on it, and then I was like, ah, whatever.
Employee of the Black Mesa Research Facility. Okay, very good.
Oh my god, it's like slanted.
Now, if
Oh.
I recall, you're here for standard HEV training only. Wait a moment. It appears someone made an error and signed you up for the Enhanced Security Training's Weapons 101 as well. Well, if this is on the file, that means the required personnel are already setting up. No sense letting it go to waste. Follow me and we'll get you prepped.
Yeah, okay, so now the receptionist actually exists. I can even talk to him. It's hard. No, there's a bug that prevents me from talking to him. Oh well.
I know I said
Anyway.
it was right, sir. But did we really need to buy so many supplies? Oh dear. Why aren't these security training programs?
Everyone's talking. This is confusing. Alright, so this isn't really anything new. This dialogue is essentially the same as Alpha 4, so I'm gonna skip it. Oh yeah, so this was the first version where we had the Hazard Course standard door, this thing in the middle. That texture, at least. Well, the model itself was made by Lars, because Lars is awesome. The texture was made by Def Monkey, another community contributor, one of our testers. He made the texture for that door. However, we also had a frame for the door, as you can see around it. There is a frame, but the texture is all whacked up. And that's because he did not get around to actually making a texture for the door frame, at which point we were forced to take matters into our own hands because I don't know what exactly happened, but Death Monkey ended up disappearing for a while. So, you know, in beta mode we had to rush to finish things. We ended up making another door texture.
Hello and welcome to the
door
Black
frame
Mesa
texture
Hazard Course, where
without
you'll be
Death Monkey,
trained
unfortunately.
to the hazardous
I
environment.
still don't know where he is.
I am your holographic
And there's that guy again. I'm gonna
Begin
keep
by
pointing him out.
stepping into your suit, suspended up ahead of you. If you see one of these buttons, press it, and I will appear to demonstrate certain moves.
Come on.
All right, let's get on with it.
Moving around in your
Okay, so from the last version, from Alpha 4.
I see you did your PhDs at MIT. Very impressive. Oh, just the one. Good job at any rate.
So from Alpha 4 to Beta 1, I believe most of the changes in dialogue were in, I think, the shooting range, because we added the range guard receptionist person there. And I think a few minor details as well.
The first move we will practice in the hazard course is basic
I believe
jumping.
this is the first
You will
version
attempt to get
where we
over
had an
this set of
animation
pipes
here.
using only your run and jump commands. It helps to get a running start. Watch me.
Yeah.
And then try it yourself.
So that is Mike's first animation attempt at running and jumping Gina. As you can tell, it's not as good as the one that we eventually released. We had him tweak it up a bit, And I think the result was pretty great after he fixed it up.
Good work. Those new suits can be tricky. Please proceed to the next area.
You will now duck under
yeah,
set
so
of obstacles. Please note
these are hologram emitters made by Lars for the purposes of projecting demonstration Gina here. We did not, and we ended up cutting this, as you know from the release version. So I ended up deleting these props from the map, but hey, can't have everything.
Good work, Gordon. You're quiet as a church mouse.
Now we will combine skills. You will need to jump, duck, and then jump again. This will prepare you for the next room, where you will have to do both moves at the same time.
Alright. Ah.
Good work. Ready for the next room, I'd say.
To get into these pipes,
Alright, let's see if they yell at me if I break this part.
Oh! Well, I suppose that does demonstrate your ability to climb up things in the HEV suit.
Oh, wait, that is, ah, okay, I see. So, hold on. That's actually, that was Mike's first attempt at the crouch jump animation. I forgot that was actually, I forgot that we redid that. So basically, needless to say, it was a little bit less, refined. Ah, yeah, this is the first version where I did the cave, finally. Come on. Alright, we're back. Okay, so apparently we're back now. Okay, so basically I was laughing at Jeff's delivery of the thing where Dr. Bickford yells at Dr. Freeman for breaking the crouch jump portion of the course.
Walk directly into the ladder, look up, and continue moving forward.
Yeah,
if
so
you want to come back down,
you'll notice the captions don't. You'll notice the captions don't match the lines, and that is because I think PC Game Crazy wrote the captions based on what was in the script, and we didn't change some of the placeholder voice acting after we changed some lines in the script because that would have been a waste of time. So that would be why some of the lines don't match.
Now there's one more style of jumping you need to learn.
Okay, so here was where I completely redid
long jumping requires its
the long
own
jump
charging
rope.
module, seen here. To activate your long jump, you will have to duck and move forward, and then launch into a jump.
This place.
Once you're up on the platform,
It actually looks reasonable now.
I will demonstrate the move.
Oh, yeah, so that long jump animation, that's the same one in the release version. So I did not ask Mike to redo this one because this one was perfect in my opinion. It's pretty great. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, so also for beta version we had an internal goal of what we called betafication, in which we went through all the rooms, marked off all the rooms that looked kind of ugly and just kind of needed more detail, like this room and that long jump room there, and then we made it a point to decorate the crap out of them and bring them up to par with some other parts of the mod, like I believe the physics room was one of our standards. And we did that in like record time. It was kind of absurd.
Please start the lift by moving up to the button, looking at it, and pressing the use. Now that you're up here, there's only one way down. Find the target on the floor below and do your best to hit it. If you take any damage from the fall, we will administer medical care at the next station.
Okay, yeah, so that's a bug. That was a bug with the way that Source engine handles voiceovers on a microphone is really weird.
You will find med kits like this one.
And there goes the poor robot health delivery system. It's gone. Good riddance.
Your health will recover gradually until you are at full health or the kit is depleted. Once the light goes out, a med kit cannot be reused. To spin that
I added a hallway here because that seemed to make more sense to me.
Careful with that long jump, Bonjour. I have to give him credit. That's clever.
Alright. And then this room definitely felt the effects of betification.
Unless it was by accident.
I'm gonna just take the ladder this time because that elevator is terribly slow.
If you can't push the obstacle out of your way, you might try pulling it. To pull a box,
oh yeah, I think this is the first version where these wonderful arrow boards started to make an appearance. Courtesy of Crypt.
Finally, if nothing else.
Shut up. Oh yeah, this version had the bug where occasionally, if you like annoy the scientists, they wouldn't actually panic for whatever dumb reason.
Those are custom built. We can't replace them willy-nilly.
There was like a problem with the way I was handling that logic.
I haven't seen that solution before. Well, seems it's having to find more crates to reseal.
Burn the paper. So you'll notice that in this beta version, there are more flares and more batteries than the the release version. And again, that ties back to the whole...
Activate your suit flashlight for the next area.
That ties into the whole thing about entity limits.
Don't get used to taking shortcuts like that around here.
Oh yeah, so this is also the first version where we got rid of the stupid flare room because it's dumb.
Great. Remember, your flashlight drains power, so switch it off when you don't need it.
No rat scene here.
Don't worry, we'll get you a fresh set of rechargeables when we issue a suit. Auxiliary power shouldn't be a problem anytime in the next decade.
So yeah, there are more flares in this version than the release version because of entity limits. We started to run into them yet again, like we were running out of space in the map, so we had to start cutting random physics objects. I started deleting random decals on the walls. It was kind of insane. We were really, really pushing it.
Welcome to the Black Mesa. One moment. Control. Can someone please explain to me why this guy looks like an orange tank?
Nothing to be alarmed about, Range. He's with the science team's HEV project, and there was a mix-up with his file. Continue as planned.
As planned? Yeah. Okay. One HEV scientist coming in. Jesus Christ! That scared me! Be more careful! And now I'll need a change of pants. You know, I could just radio for backup if you keep this up.
I think that's the end. Yeah.
Oh, science recruit. You're about to get dispensed a standard issue 9mm pistol and ammunition. Hold it in a two-handed grip, feet apart. Okay, basic safety. Always treat a weapon.
Oh yeah, the lines are subtly different from the last version. And then they get completely changed once Mikey gets a hold of the script. Oh yeah, those bullets, shells, I deleted those too in the release version. So yeah, I keep saying retail version, and then Crypt is making fun of me in the chat. And then he makes a good point. We actually lost money doing this. We spent a lot.
Got your standard 9mm submachine gun set up with an attached
yeah.
grenade launcher.
we got rid of that stupid conveyor belt, and now we have like proper ammo crates. Oh yeah, and so we lost money because we have to pay for storage on the repository that we use. So we, like I said, we use version control toward Subversion. Subversion is the name of the version control system that we use, and that requires an external repository server, and Crypt had to pay for that. And I had to pay for some cloud servers that were used for compiling these maps, because every time we made a build of the Hazard course, it would take forever. So I eventually devised a system where I could essentially buy like a crap ton of cores on a server machine, a virtual machine, in the cloud, and install the compile tools there. And doing that, split over like 36 cores, made the compile time slightly faster, actually like significantly faster. So that was worth it to me, even though it did cost a bit of money, like about $1 for every compile, roughly. So yeah, we lost a bunch of money doing this, so hope you guys appreciate it.
Welcome back! Did you learn something about security duties?
Alright.
Your HEV suit monitors blood oxygen levels. Warning
Oh?
you when you need to
They're not complaining. Okay, I guess that's that bug again. Oh yeah, I believe the bug happened because Gina's talking. So apparently the scientists would not yell at you if Gina's talking at the same time. Ah, and this swim up animation was wonderful.
on your suit's heads-up display, returning to its previous level. You are free to swim on to the end of the course.
Okay, so this canal still looks like crap, and I was telling you guys about betafication. This was the last room to be betafied. We had no idea what we were doing with this room. That's why it still looks terrible even in the first beta round. So I think it took a couple of additional beta releases after this to get this to what it is in the final release. Alright. Oh yeah, and interestingly enough, like the level transition did not like synchronize the two geometries, so that's a fun little thing to look at. They just kind of pop in. CBM treatment, no longer PSR hamster. Oh well. Okay, so you'll notice that there is a HUD hint here that says open door, and the door was slightly ajar. The reason for that was when I gave this the Hazard course to my brother to play test, he got stuck down there for about 10 minutes. He had no idea where to go, and that was because he thought that door was locked because it was closed and it wasn't obvious to get there. So that's why I added the HUD hint, hey, open the door you idiot, and then I made the door slightly open, so go here please, basically. Crip says technically the lounge in the guard room was the last room to be betafied. Yeah, sort of. Oh my god, Jeff, please.
Another hazardous conditions your suit is designed to protect you from. Do not worry. If you charge your suit with
I don't know if I would consider the lounge to be betafication. I would think that it's more like additional refinement on the idea of betafication, because like you know, we had an idea of what to do.
You will see a heat damage icon.
All right, this
directional indicators at the center of your display show you where damage is coming from.
So that's like the longest airlock ever, airlock cycle ever. Beautiful steam tunnel thing that we finally made look not stupid. Alright. I think this... Oh my. Alright. Oh yeah, so this is where the wheel is now horizontal instead of vertical. And, okay, I apologize to everyone who had trouble finding the exit because of this fence door here, but the reason I added this fence door was because some people, like my brother and like Michael, they kept jumping down there, like, even before they turned that wheel. So I just added this door here to block people from going down there. It was confusing, but it was the lesser of two evils. Like, I didn't want people to just go and get themselves killed before finishing the puzzle, so, like, sorry.
The fire doors act as a toggle unless the heat sensor is configured.
Come on.
Just hit the button to get out. Whew. I bet you want a chance to cool down, huh? Exposure to extreme cold will sap your suit's power supply. Make your way through the next chamber quickly.
Come on. I don't even know why I go for those batteries. It doesn't really make much of a difference in the long run.
HEV suit
But I guess it's fun.
Shocks as well. That doesn't mean you should go for a dip, though. And don't try to turn off the power. That room isn't designed for that.
Yeah, so this was the first version where we kind of did a slight redesign of the shocking electrical room. Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, but basically it's the same. It's just we widened it a bit and made it hopefully make a little bit more sense in terms of like real world use.
Proximity to radiation activates a Geiger counter and radiation display. Biohazards are also indicated with the luminous icon.
Don't worry, the suit is properly shielded in all the right places, and this is a very low dose for demonstration purposes only. The market chemicals are probably just as radioactive as what we've allowed through. Even so, don't worry if your vision blurs a bit.
Alright.
Yes, that's perfectly normal.
In this dark area, people, I don't know why I just made a nice big room full of darkness, but I did it for betification purposes. It turned out alright, I think.
As demonstrated, the HEV suit is more than capable of keeping you safe from any and all forms of damage.
And at some point we decided that having all four of these be at full health was kind of ridiculous, so I toned that down too. Alright, final room.
Occasionally, you may need to enter an area of the facility you do not have personal clearance to enter. Explain the situation to a guard, and they will let you through. Hello, sir. Take me to the scanner, and I'll open it.
Alright, open the scanner, please. He's not even looking at the scanner.
Thanks for coming.
That's strange. Alright. Yeah, so we got rid of the weird curvy hallway thing, because there was no need for it anymore. Yeah, and like Crip was talking about, from beta version to release version, we did spice up this room a bit. So, yeah, for obvious reasons. It's kind of empty, other than like that microwave and this puddle over here. Yeah, forgive that. I think Lars just accidentally forgot to commit one of his textures, and that's why it's purple checkerboard, because Source has no idea what to do with it. But
you are now fully
that's just beta.
for use of the HEV Hazardous.
Bye, Jeff Gina.
Please use this lever operated trade.
Crip says, the original ticket said to brighten it in reference to that room where the weapons deposit box was. Yeah, I literally just asked him to brighten it a bit.
Without the Tram.
Ooh, 20 minutes, not bad.
Say, jeez.
I literally just told Crip to brighten it, and then he went ridiculous and made it into what it is now. And I'm not complaining, it's pretty cool what he did. Thank you, Crip.
percentile.
Oh, still 39th percentile? I believe if you get under 20 minutes, you get 84th percentile or something like that. And if you get... And then if you get under... was it 10 minutes? If you get under 10 minutes, they'd say something else. And if you get over an hour, then they berate you for being a slowpoke and terrible at everything. Yeah. And this is the skybox with the real world terrain modeled in.
I believe there's someone waiting for you. Right this way, Dr. Freeman. We have a car waiting.
We have a car waiting. Yeah, and that's the Hazard course, Beta 1. Michael Tanek says, wait, shouldn't the percentile decrease with decreasing time? The way I interpret it is that if you're an 84th percentile, you have a better time than 84% of the people. So that means a decreasing time gives you a higher percentile. At least that's how I interpret it. It's been a while since I've even had to use the word percentile in like a real setting. So, yeah. I don't do a lot of math anymore. Not that kind of math, at least. So yeah, there you have it. That's the Hazard course. Well, I guess if anyone has any questions, now would be a great time to ask them. If nobody has any questions, then, well, thanks for watching, I guess. So yeah, hopefully that gave an interesting view into the development of the Hazard course and, you know, how it evolved over time. And, I don't know, if you're an aspiring modder, developer, whatever, then check out my article that I posted on ModDB about why the hell the Hazard course took 3 years, even though it was only like, what, 20 minutes at most. You'll find it on ModDB articles, the postmortem article. That would be it. And this goes into a lot of detail about why we kept screwing up. Oh, here's the water maze. Everyone loves the water maze. But yeah. I have some advice in the final section of what I recommend that you do. I mean, they're not perfect rules, they're more like guidelines. If you want to try and take on a challenge as, you know, big as the Hazard course, as big as, I don't know, Black Mesa or something, or as small as a tiny map pack, like a one map thing, or even any project really. A lot of these things that I raise here are very applicable. Alright. It is now 7:30 where I am. Well, I guess that will be it if no one actually really cares about asking anything. So, yeah, well, thank you for being here. And I guess I will see you guys. Goodbye. Finally, one question. It's a question that we've actually answered, like, quite a few times, but it's a valid concern. Oh, this is probably going to echo. So, yeah. Cobra Commander asks, how come this mod is only available for the mod version of Black Mesa and not the Steam release? Now that is a good question. So for a number of reasons. The first reason was when they released the Steam release, we were already on the mod version and we didn't really know how much effort it would take to port all our assets, because from what we had heard, it took a significant amount of effort. Like, we would have to recompile models and stuff, at least that's what we thought. So that was the first reason why we just kind of kept going for the mod version instead of the Steam version. Now, after a while, we ran some tests on the Steam version to, like, see how feasible it would be. Oh, this is a wonderful infinite loop. But yeah, we were trying to see how feasible it was to actually port what we had, and it turns out it was not trivial, because there are some things that are just completely broken. For instance, we have to modify a number of text files for captions, for HUD hints, for a number of things, a lot of like settings. I think even like the game menu settings. Right, so we have to override those files, and right now the way the Black Mesa Workshop works basically is that it is completely broken, and it will not allow you to overwrite certain files, but however it will allow you to overwrite some others. And the order in which it overwrites them seems to be almost completely random, and we have no idea what the deal with that even is. Right, so that's the first major problem. Like, even if we wanted to, like, the mod would just be completely broken because half the stuff would just not even be there. Second problem is there are a couple of situations in the hazard course where we need to know whether or not the player has died. The most obvious one being, you know, if you kill yourself or just fall off a cliff or something, the scientists will be like, oh no, he's dead, and then panic and play those lines. The way we do that, there's an entity called logic player proxy, right? And its job, it's just an in-game object that's invisible, it just doesn't really physically exist, but its job is to basically monitor the player, right, and fire an output on various events. So like if the flashlight is turned on, I will be able to react to that, right, using this entity. And if the player has ammo, the player has no ammo, things like that. Or if the player died, this is the important one. So this output is called player died. Logic player proxy will allow me to detect whether or not the player has died and therefore fire the appropriate responses. In the Steam version of Black Mesa, this function, the player died function, does not work. It does not fire when the player dies at all. So therefore I have no reliable method of detecting whether or not you're dead, basically. And I have no way of playing the correct lines for it. That's the biggest, most noticeable problem with the lack of a player died function. There's another more subtle problem. In the situation where you are fighting the SWAT team at the end, if you like murder everyone, they send the SWAT team at you, and they're playing lots of lines. They're just shouting at you constantly, right? So I did that in-game using a little hack. Like, I have a timer that basically says, if the player is still alive, shout at the player. Now, given that the player died function does not work in Black Mesa Steam version, I have no way of telling them to stop shouting, because I can never detect if they have actually finally killed the player, or if the player has killed themselves. So that's another problem that would happen because of the lack of a player died functionality. So hopefully that explains that. Are there any other questions? If there are no other questions, then I guess... Okay, so Crypt asks, okay, another question when I'm done, no rush. We'd continue to work on Hazard Course the same way we did in our early days. Oh, if we'd continued to work on Hazard Course the same way we did in our early days, do you think we would have stayed? Do you think I... Okay. Let's see. He asks if we continue to work on HC the same inefficient way that we did, would I have stayed on the team? That is a very tough question. It's very hard to say, because a lot of my motivation for staying on the team was to fix what we were doing wrong. Because I saw that we were kind of messing up here and there all over the place, and then I saw lots of room for improvement, and I felt that, you know, hey, if I just stick here and, you know, if I help implement these changes that need to be made, then I think we could actually get somewhere. And that's what I ended up doing. If I had not made that decision, then I would say that either the mod would just have fallen completely flat on its face and it would have died, or a really crappy, mediocre product would have been released. And I would not have been very satisfied with that at all. And we would have had like a 2 rating on ModDB or something like that. Alright, so any other questions? And by the way, the whole thing about logic player proxy being broken, as an add-on to that statement, I have no control over that. So, I am reliant on the Black Mesa official programmers to fix that for me because I cannot fix it from here. Michael Tanek asks, I've been thinking about the player death problem. Could you have a target entity match the position of the player camera and then measure when it drops to the ground? That's a good question. That's an interesting way of doing it. Hold on. I think we're good. So, that's an interesting thought. My question is, how would you measure when it dropped to the ground? There doesn't seem to be a very reliable way of doing that. That's the kicker here. Because, like, the z-axis is freely available to the player at any time. Like, how can you differentiate between just, dropping to the ground or just moving up or down normally? There doesn't seem to be a reliable way of doing that. And also, I'm not even sure if the player death camera, the ragdoll thing where your head rolls around, I'm not sure how that's handled, basically. I don't know if it's possible to measure that location, especially after you die. Could triggers be affected by... Okay, so about triggers. One way... I've been toying about... In my head, I've been toying around with ways to get around the whole player death problem. I've been thinking maybe minor spoiler, but like there is a trigger that detects if you have no clipped out of the map. I could somehow repurpose that to detect if you have died by just, if you leave that trigger, then you're dead. The problem with that is no more no-clip lines, because you'd be using it to detect player death rather than player no-clip. And then if you did no-clip out of the map, then you would have player death lines on every time you do that, which would be kind of weird. And could ground triggers be affected by the... I guess you're talking about like the rolling camera. I'm not even sure if it's even physical. Actually, it is probably physical, but I don't know if... that's a good question. I would have to run some tests on whether it could trigger some triggers. Alright. Well, if no one else has anything else to ask, then I will now be signing off. Alright, well, see you at some point in the future. Bye-bye.